Chapter 1238. In the cultivation room, Fong Ping stared at the data for a while. Balanced. He had 92 million HP and 23,000 MP, which was just a bit short. If he was in a balanced state, his vitality would be around 61 million calories, and his mentality would be around 26,100 Hz. However, if that were to happen, Fong Ping's combat strength would be greatly affected. It would fall quite a bit. Is it worth a try? Fong Ping did not know, but since the system had mentioned it, he did not mind giving it a try. Now that his mentality had reached Mach 26,000, even if his HP dropped, his source world should be able to expand to more than 700 meters, which would be enough to make up for his loss. What's the use of balance? What Fong Ping did not know was that this was just a possibility that he had come up with. The system did not give him any hints. You'll know once you try. Fong Ping stopped thinking about it and started trying to convert his vitality. His vitality dropped by 100 calories and his mentality increased by 1 Hz. For his first experiment, Fong Ping did not dare to change too much. In the end, there wasn't much of a reaction. His HP didn't drop much, and his mentality didn't increase much. There was almost no difference. 1,000 calories, 5,000 calories, 10,000 calories. When his vitality dropped by 10,000 calories, Fong Ping's expression changed. After dropping by 10,000 calories, he could clearly feel that his strength had dropped a little. However, even if his mentality increased by 100 Hz, it did not seem to be of much use. Of course, the source world seemed to be undergoing its final transformation. However, the source world had always been in the process of transforming. If this doesn't work, won't I lose hundreds of thousands of cal of vitality for nothing? Fong Ping gritted his teeth. He was in trouble. Continue. It had already fallen by 10,000 calories. It was too late for Fong Ping to regret. The drop of 10,000 cal was not just a drop in vitality. Fong Ping realized that his physique was dropping as well. The previously incomparably tight bones seemed to have a trace of loosening. Obviously, the system's heaven-defying conversion ability did not give Fong Ping the opportunity to steal a chicken. If his physique remained the same, he would only need to replenish his vitality. Now that the strength of his body was decreasing, the situation was completely different. However, Fong Ping also noticed something different. In his source world, there had been some cracks in the brain nucleus that was suspended high in the sky. Logically speaking, as his mental strength increased, the cracks should have widened. But now, an invisible force had fused into it, and the cracks had disappeared, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Fong Ping suddenly had this feeling. He used his physical strength to mend the crack in his brain. The price he had to pay was a drop in his physical strength. 20,000 calories, 30,000 calories, 100,000 calories. After converting 100,000 calories, Fong Ping felt it too obvious. The difference in his physique strength was slightly greater than before. While Fong Ping was converting his vitality, in the depths of the Forbidden Sea, in a dilapidated world, an elegant-looking middle-aged man walked forward with his hands behind his back. Behind him, Wang Jinyang carried a longbow on his back and followed. The middle-aged man said as he walked, "You were my most outstanding disciple back then. There was no one else." Wang Jinyang bowed slightly. If it's a battle, then Wang Jinyang doesn't dare. But if it's a battle, then since Master has said so, then although I don't dare, I'm willing to do my best. There's no need to be too conflicted. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "Who you become depends on yourself. You're still a little stubborn. Whether it's Zhan or Wang Jinyang, they're just one of the many living beings." Wang Jinyang smiled and said no more. The middle-aged man continued to say, "Among the 4 extreme Tao heavenly emperors, extermination and heavenly emperorbation's shortcomings are the most obvious. Do and Zhan know the flaws of extreme Tao. Hence, they are working hard to make up for these flaws. Zhan's weakness was actually the least obvious. His energy was strong, his physique was strong, and in terms of spiritual consciousness, it was also extremely strong. Although he did not reveal it, Zhan should be the powerhouse closest to becoming an emperor among the 4. Zhan was also making up for this weakness. In the past, he apprenticed to the Divine Emperor to learn the Divine Emperor's path of longevity. He apprenticed to the Emperor to learn the Emperor's path of vitality, which could also be called the path of the flesh. And he apprenticed to me to learn the path of the mean, or the path of balance. Jean had three masters: the Divine Emperor, the Emperor, Dongwang. At this moment, the middle-aged man said this. If there were outsiders present, they might be shocked and stunned. Among the three emperors, this person only did not mention Dongwang. The middle-aged man and Wang Jinyang did not mention this. The middle-aged man continued to wander in the broken world, smiling. I'm not outstanding among the 9 emperors. Among the 9 emperors, there is the powerful earthly sovereign, the cunning human sovereign, the domineering beast sovereign, the sage-like celestial sovereign, the daring spirit sovereign. Dongwang, the second sovereign after the Divine Emperor. The middle-aged man grinned. The world first had the Divine Emperor, then Dongwang, and then the other sovereigns. The time when I reached the Tao was not earlier or later. Not earlier or later. Among the 9 emperors, I am neither outstanding nor mediocre. I am in the middle. I am good at everything: forging artifacts, brewing pellets, setting up formations, strong physique, strong soul consciousness. But I am not good at anything. In terms of physique, I am not as good as the Emperor of Heaven's tyrant. In terms of soul consciousness, I am not as good as the Emperor of Heaven reverse. In the end, I would rather fight. The middle-aged man smiled again. Even if I don't compete with the extreme Emperor, I am the same as the other sovereigns. My physique is not as good as the beast sovereign. My soul consciousness is not as good as the Divine Emperor, and my energy is not as good as the human sovereign. But you have to know that in a long fight, Dongwang is the best. The middle-aged man said calmly. The 9 emperors and the 4 emperors have sparred. Dongwang lost 3 out of 5 to Emperor of Heaven's tyrant, to Mie, and to earthly sovereign, but that is sparring. In a fight of life and death, the result is different, because they can be dominant for a while, but they cannot be dominant forever. But I can. The middle-aged man turned around. Wang Jinyang asked, because of your teacher's balance? You can say that. The middle-aged man grinned. Jean came to me, saying that he did not want to be Emperor of Heaven's tyrant or Emperor of Heaven devastation. He wanted to find his own Tao. But he realized that there was no way. The God Sovereign could not teach him. The human sovereign could not teach him. He asked the other 8 sovereigns and 3 emperors, but no one could teach him. How could he find his own Tao? He came to me, and I told him that I could teach him. But the Jean I taught might also become a mediocre Heaven Emperor. Wang Jinyang thought about it and nodded. Among the 4 emperors, Jean is indeed mediocre. He is not as distinctive as Emperor of Heaven Extermination and Emperor of Heaven Tyrant. He is not as omnipotent as Emperor of Heaven Reverse. Among the 4 emperors, if it were not for the fact that he pointed out the emperors, I don't think anyone would know about him. Not bad, the middle-aged man said with a smile. Some people say that fighting is the ultimate path of qi and blood. Blood qi extreme Tao. Is the fleshly body extreme Tao? The physical body nurtured qi and blood. If the physical body was not strong, how could one have the extreme Tao of qi and blood? At this moment, Wang Jinyang was deep in thought. Yes, the middle-aged man smiled and said, since his qi and blood are extreme Tao, then his body must be. However, his physical body wasn't as strong as the celestial emperors. So how could he be considered the extreme Tao? Jean's control over his power is extremely high. This also means that his spiritual awareness is also extremely powerful. Is it the extreme path of spiritual awareness? Wang Jinyang said in a deep voice. So Jean is an all-rounder. You could say that, or you could say it's mediocrity. The middle-aged man smiled and said, Jean and I are very similar. Of course, we are also different. All of this was due to the difference in our choices. Jean Long and I had both chosen to develop in a balanced manner. There were pros and cons to this. The pros were obvious, and there were no shortcomings. The disadvantages were also obvious and not prominent enough. There are actually many benefits to the balance of the various powers that ordinary martial artists cannot experience. When the powers are balanced, it is actually a metamorphosis. The metamorphosis of potential, the metamorphosis of future, and the metamorphosis of one's various limits. Wang Jinyang listened for a while and thought for a while before saying, "Actually, there is another benefit. That is, the three gates can be used at the same time, and the three gates can be broken together, right?" Three gates. The middle-aged man thought for a while and nodded with a smile. You can say that. Breaking the three gates together to prove one's Tao and become an emperor will be more perfect and comprehensive. Teacher, was it like this back then? When I proved my Tao, there were no three gates yet. It was a little regretful that I did not think too much back then. My fleshly body was still lacking a little. In the end, I proved my Tao one after the other. The middle-aged man sighed and said, "Such an emperor is not perfect enough, not flawless enough. In fact, it is not even comparable to people like the god emperor who prove their Tao one by one. Therefore, after proving their Tao, they're also a little mediocre." Jean wanted to prove his Tao together back then, but he failed in the end. The two of them, Batian and Mia, had long since broken through that door. Although there was no real door, they had indeed broken through that barrier and walked a long way. However, because of the other flaws, they were unable to continue. As for Do, he is even more ambitious. He wants to prove his Tao again and again. Perhaps he did it, but he realized that he could not prove his Tao, and Do also failed. Hearing this, Wang Jinyang nodded again and said, "Teacher, then what should I do now?" "You." The middle-aged man looked at him and thought for a while before saying, "You reincarnated to cultivate again, probably to fulfill your unfulfilled wish back then. You still have a chance to do it now. But I have already walked the Tao in the opposite direction. No matter." The middle-aged man smiled and said, "Gate, it is an illusory gate. Your gate is not here. Actually, they are all gates, just illusory gates. The real gate is not here. Break one gate, break two gates. In the end, they are all illusory gates. The real gate is not broken." What I want to say is, in the end, if you meet three gates, break them together. At that time, you will be the real emperor, the invincible emperor. Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, "This is the gate of the origin. Then is there a gate for beginners? Or is it really impossible for beginners to prove their Tao and become emperors?" Beginners. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "The gate for beginners is in the heart. Do may have seen the gate, but he could not break it. Not only Do, that person also saw the gate back then, but he could not break it. So he chose a different path, created the origin, and used the power of the origin to break that gate. In this way, that gate was broken by external force, so his Tao was actually a little bit lacking. If Do could not use external force to break that gate, then he might surpass that person." Wang Jinyang nodded, thought for a while, and said again, "Teacher is dead." The middle-aged man smiled lightly and said, "How can it be so easy to distinguish life and death? Whether the main body is dead or alive, I do not know either. Whether I'm a clone, a projection, or even just a memory of the past, I can't tell, and you can forget about it either. That is why I said, whether you are Wang Jinyang or Jean, there is no need to distinguish and care about it. Just like me, whether I am Dong Wang or myself, I will not think about it either." The middle-aged man continued walking forward, lamenting, "This was my dojo back then, and it has long been ruined. Those who ascended with me to the heavenly realm back then are all dead. Now that I think about it, everything is empty. Fate rises and falls. The sea turns into mulberry fields. Who can exist eternally?" Wang Jinyang frowned slightly. "There are probably people who want eternity." "Yes, of course there are." The middle-aged man smiled and said, "Actually, at this stage, what you pursue is eternity, freedom, unfettered, free and unfettered between heaven and earth." The middle-aged man did not dwell on this, saying again, "This time, you found this place, and that is fate. Whether it is Jean or Wang Jinyang, I cannot give you much, nor can I teach you much. The only thing I can do is to combine your powers, forging your bones, refining your spirit, and strengthening your blood all in one Tao. Humans have 3 Taos, and I will combine your 3 Taos. Walk 1 Tao, and see if you can finally experience the glory of the Sanjiao Gate. With that said, the middle-aged man chuckled and slashed at the sky. In the next moment, a universe appeared. A small star appeared. The middle-aged man walked on air, and Wang Jinyang's eyes were dazed. In the blink of an eye, he seemed to see his source world. In the next moment, he was sure that this was his source world. He was not at the apex and should not have been able to see this, but at this moment he saw it. A great Tao led to the endless void. The great Tao was not long, very short, but extremely wide. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "This is your Tao, but there are 3 Taos. You people actually only see 1 Tao. The Tao you walk is the main Tao, but you cannot see the remaining 2 Taos." With that said, the middle-aged man waved his hand, and at this moment, Wang Jinyang saw a different scene. At this moment, his great Tao was actually like an overpass, showing 3 levels. The highest level, the great Tao, walked less than 300 meters. The middle level walked more than 800 meters. This was the Tao he was walking now, the most solid path. The lower one was also somewhat illusory, walking less than 100 meters. The middle-aged man laughed and said, "Walk forward and walk to the end. That's a door, an illusory door. But when you break a door, you'll discover that you still need to walk, continue walking, and walk a long path. Only then can you see the second door hidden above or below. Do this 3 times in a row, and you can truly break your Sanjiao Void Gate and truly see where the great Tao is." Wang Jinyang was somewhat absent-minded. 300,000 meters away is the first door. As for the second and third doors, they're actually above or below that door, but you can't see them. You must walk again to see them. Is that so? 300,000 meters, is it used to measure? The middle-aged man laughed and nodded. That's how it is. Therefore, ordinary martial artists must break 3 doors if they want to prove their Tao. Only by breaking 3 doors can they see the great Tao, see the true Sanjiao Gate. And what Master can do now is to unite the 3 doors, unite the 3 Taos. You only need to break 1 door, and now that you've united the 3 doors, one of them is already unobstructed. Breaking the other 2 doors is enough to prove that there's only 1 Tao and see your true self. As soon as he finished speaking, the void trembled, and the top, middle, and bottom 3 Taos suddenly compressed towards the center. The middle-aged man was no longer calm. With a low grunt, he began to compress with all his might. Wang Jinyang's body trembled violently, but he endured the pain, the agony of exploding, to endure all of this. The Dongwang clone was helping emerge. 3 Taos combined into 1 Tao. This meant that once he broke through 8 doors, he could instantly break through 3 doors. This was not like the usual 8 doors, where he had to break through 1 door at a time. Once he broke through 1 door, he had to walk again and break through another door. At this moment, there seemed to be movement in the endless darkness. The Dongwang clone chuckled. "You've already seen your true self. There's no need to separate Taos. 3 doors combined into 1. There's only 1 Tao, 3 Taos combined into 1. The true Tao has appeared." A low grunt resounded in all directions. In the next moment, 2 of the slightly illusory paths of the top, middle, and bottom 3 Taos were instantly compressed into the middle Tao. At this moment, there was an incomparably huge pressure sweeping over from all directions. In the outside world, Wang Jinyang's golden body exploded, his psychic energy dissipated, and his chi and blood scattered. Dongwang's clone was also dissipating at this moment. He sighed and said, "You'll have to rely on yourself for the rest. After all, I was the one who forcefully suppressed them together. In this world, there are some monsters who might not need to do this. In ancient times, there was a cat that combined all the Taos into 1, so there was no need for 3 Taos to combine into 1. In the past, it was laughable to seal the gate because there was no gate to seal. Now heaven and earth are changing. Master seems to be seeing someone fusing all Taos into 1, each having their own Tao. Remember, I've only barely managed to fuse the 3 Taos into 1. If I'm not careful, there'll be a setback. If the 3 Taos are separated, it'll be even more difficult to fuse them back together. Wang Jinyang's face was filled with pain as he watched the middle-aged man disappear. He cupped his hands and said, "Thank you for your help today, teacher. Wang Jinyang will remember it." Ha ha. The middle-aged man laughed, and his figure began to dissipate. In the blink of an eye, he completely disappeared from the world. As for Wang Jinyang, he sat cross-legged on the ground, feeling the transformation. Essence, qi, and spirit were in balance. Three Daos fused into one. Everything was developing in a balanced manner. However, the three Daos were originally not one. At this moment, the veins on his face were bulging and his blood vessels were bursting. It was extremely difficult to control them. The balance of power. It was difficult to control and grasp. A slight carelessness, and there would be a deviation. Once there was a deviation, the current him would easily show signs of his body exploding. At the same time, when Wang Jinyang's three Daos were fusing into one. Sky Island. In the secret room, Fong Ping had finally achieved a balance between his mentality and vitality. Both had achieved a balance. At this moment, Fong Ping's source world was exploding and expanding. His brain core was flickering as if it was about to explode. His golden body was shaking as if it was about to explode. At this moment, Fong Ping had a feeling that if he continued to convert and make the power not maintain a balance, he should be able to suppress this situation. But Fong Ping did not. He wanted to try and see what would happen under the condition of maintaining a balance. The source world was shaking as if it was about to be destroyed. Above his brain core, some power was spilling out continuously, destroying this piece of heaven and earth. However, very soon, another wave of power was gushing out, balancing this piece of heaven and earth, preventing the source world from collapsing. Half was destroyed, the other half was repaired. Both parties maintained a balance. Fong Ping's power was constantly being depleted. Fong Ping was also rapidly recovering his power to maintain this depletion. At this moment, Fong Ping felt something different. Between this destruction and repair, his golden body was transforming. A wave of power was wreaking havoc in his body as if it was about to explode him. In the next moment, another wave of power was like life force, rapidly repairing all the damage. Fong Ping could not tell what kind of power these two waves of power were. Perhaps it was the power of destruction and rebirth. At this moment, Fong Ping was constantly being attacked. His flesh was changing from a golden color, vaguely transforming into a jade color. As for his source world, it was first destroyed, then it was reborn. Every time it was destroyed, it would be repaired. This piece of world seemed to be becoming more and more solid. Fong Ping could feel it. He could feel his vitality being restored. Previously, it had dropped from 292 million calories to 261 million calories. But now his power was rapidly recovering. The source world had yet to transform completely. Logically speaking, the current him should not be upgrading. However, Fong Ping could feel that the birth and death of the two waves of power was causing his bones and skin to undergo a transformation every moment. Such a transformation consumed a lot of energy. His vitality and mentality were constantly being consumed. The consumption was terrifying. In the blink of an eye, millions of cal of vitality had been depleted. But Fong Ping did not care. He began to recover rapidly. At this moment, Fong Ping felt the feeling of body honing that he had not felt for a long time. Yes, body honing. Two kinds of power were circling in his body, helping him to hone his body. Not only was it honing his body, but it was also honing his brain core. The transformation of the source world was actually honing his brain core. I see. At this moment, Fong Ping felt a little emotional. When the power was out of balance, big brother suppressed second brother. Only one kind of power was helping you hone, but when the power was balanced, no one could suppress the other. At this time, instead, two kinds of power were helping you to transform together. Is this equivalent to doubling the cultivation speed? Fong Ping mumbled. Maybe it was not as simple as doubling. Logically speaking, these two waves of power should not have been able to hone and transform together. But now, because the power had reached an absolute balance, no one could suppress the other. Instead, it was done. His flesh was still strengthening, his brain core was still honing, and his vitality was still rising. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly felt a sense of imbalance. His vitality suddenly skyrocketed. The source world's transformation was completed. It was 700 meters of transformation. At this moment, the power of the origin was integrated into his body, causing his vitality to grow tremendously. His power was out of balance. With this imbalance, Fong Ping instantly felt a huge destructive force. In his body, a wave of power suddenly strengthened. In the next moment, it destroyed everything in Fong Ping's body madly, suppressing and destroying the other wave of power, destroying his flesh, wanting to blow him up. Fong Ping was shocked. He hurriedly continued to transform. When the power was once again balanced, Fong Ping heaved a sigh of relief. The feeling of explosion disappeared. At this moment, only two waves of power were rotating, helping him to quickly hone everything. Fong Ping's eyes were bright. This time, he really felt something different. It was as if the two waves of power were gradually merging and were about to give birth to a new power. Fong Ping quickly looked at the data panel. His gaze changed again. Wealth, 102 billion points vitality, 2,800,000 calories, 2,800,000 calories, mentality, 28,000 hertz, 28,000 hertz, force, unity force, origin path, plus 150%, external path, origin world, 715 meters combat techniques, god-slaying saber techniques, plus 9%, return to 1, spiritualism path, 100 calories vitality to 1 hertz mentality physique path, 1 hertz mentality to 100 calories vitality, irreversible, strength control, 90% limit outburst, 652-6800 cal/725-2000 cal. Fong Ping looked for a while, his gaze changing. His limit outburst limit had been lowered by hundreds of thousands of cal. According to the original situation, when the origin reached 700 meters, he would definitely have a significant improvement. But now, because of the balanced power, he was slightly lower than before. But the key was that his control, under the condition of the origin's enhancement, had increased to 90%. Unbelievable. This meant that most of his power could now be used by himself. This was still secondary. That force, Fong Ping had a guess in his heart. There was no need to guess. It was written that it was the power of unity. In that case, when vitality and mentality finally merged, the power formed was the force. This was a little similar to when he used celestiality when he was rank 7. However, celestiality was an external force. This force seemed to be his own power. Fong Ping let out a long sigh. His combat strength did not decrease. Instead, it became stronger. His outburst exceeded 5 million calories. He was stronger than ever. This time, the system upgrade and closed-door cultivation had a huge breakthrough. Fong Ping suspected that when the two forces completely merged and completed the transformation, he might have a huge leap. Interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. The more I cultivate martial arts, the more mysterious I find it. Everyone can cultivate something different. At this moment, Fong Ping could only feel his own insignificance and ignorance. The more he cultivated, the more he realized that martial arts were too mysterious. There were too many mysteries. The current him was completely different from when he walked the origin path. The gap was huge. Even his power was changing. After cutting off the Emperor path, I walked further and further on this path of no return. Fong Ping shook his head. At this point, there was no room for regret. Of course, he did not regret it either. The current him and Song Mao's path might be slightly different. Too many accidents had contributed to his current path, a completely different path. The two forces continued to temper him, constantly improving him. As for Fong Ping, what he had to do was to constantly maintain the balance of these two forces. There could not be any deviation. In this situation, if not for the system, it would be difficult for him to do so. However, Fong Ping firmly believed that when he mastered this sense of balance, he might be able to achieve 100% control of his power. At this time, Fong Ping also began to try to balance these two forces by himself, instead of relying on the system to balance them. I've gained a lot this time, so much that I don't even want to come out of closed-door cultivation. I'll continue to try, Fong Ping muttered. He now had a little understanding of those powerhouses. Once they went into closed-door cultivation, they would spend countless years. This feeling of exploring the mysteries of martial arts on his own was really satisfying. But it's time to go out. There are still many things to do. I can't afford to delay. At this time, Fong Ping's spirits were lifted. With his outburst as high as 5 million calories, he was now an absolute powerhouse among those at Broken 6. It should not be difficult for him to defeat those at Celestial Extremities who were not strong at Broken 6. The gains from the trip to the fake sky grave were also almost depleted. Next, he should start a new journey. P.S. There's no third update. Sorry. Chapter 1239. The Catacombs. The war between humans and the catacombs had never stopped. The war was still going on. Year after year, day after day, they fought until they were numb, until there was already a blood feud between the two sides. Since the establishment of the new heavenly court and the return of various true kings, the previously suppressed catacombs began to attack again. Both sides fought again and again in the outer region. Fong Ping had almost taken over the entire southern region. Now, the southern region was once again in the flames of war. The war was endless. The new heavenly court wanted to expand its territory. After Hong Yu and Li Zhu united, the new heavenly court's goal was to unify the three realms and restore its former glory. In the four outer regions of the north, south, east, and west, the western and eastern regions were about to be completely taken over by the catacombs. The northern region was also in danger. Only the humans in the southern region still had the upper hand, not giving up an inch of land. Both sides fought on this land, blood flowing like a river. Millions of martial artists fought ceaselessly in the southern region. The catacombs' 6 saint tokens and heavenly king seals kept covering the southern region, but they never succeeded. On the southern region's side, a gong hung in the air. Cat Sky Gong. Under the control of the Sky Sword, 6 sage badges and 1 heavenly king seal invaded the southern region. On the human side, the 3 emperors Shin Hao Yin, Ming Ting, and Sika Lu were controlling the Bell of Heaven to defend against this invasion. There was no more war between the two sides. However, as the armies occupied more and more territories, the light covered different areas. The battle between powerhouses stopped, but the army war did not. With the addition of the earthly Emperor God Dynasty's Divine Court Army and the Heavenly Court's Divine Army, the combat power of the Catacombs Army was also rising. With a few desperate realms as commanders, the humans' living space was constantly shrinking. The northern region was about to fall. The human higher-ups had already decided to give up the northern region and defend the southern region. The catacombs would not attack the human world unless the celestial realm wall was broken. However, they would never let go of the outer regions. The southern region was the bridgehead of the war between the two sides. Among the 8 realms that existed previously, Kuokang Mountain, Purple Cap Mountain, Luofa Mountain, Huatong Mountain, and Su Ling Grotto Heaven were all destroyed. Wanwu Mountain was sealed, Weiyu Mountain was sealed, and Xuanda Grotto Heaven was now used by the humans to guard the southern region. The war was also concentrated in this area, and the flames of war raged. Xuanda Grotto Heaven, which was the first to submit to the human race, had been fighting non-stop these days. Xuanda Grotto Heaven's Empyrean sovereign Xianji had returned with 3 desperate realm experts. In addition to the peak that he was originally guarding, as well as Xianhua who had just advanced. 1 Emperor 5 Paragons. This was the power of the Xuanda Grotto Heaven. At this moment, these experts were guarding the southern region for the human race. Under the continuous battle, there were heavy casualties among the mystic virtue realm, but the bloody battle still continued. All forces in the 3 realms were making their choices. Last time, when Xianji and the others were not around, the rank 9 Xianhua made his choice. He chose to guard the southern region for the humans forever. But now that Xianji had returned, he did not deny this statement. Instead, he continued to accept everything. In the fake sky grave, He witnessed the strength of humans and their unity. They had also witnessed the scenes of Fong Ping and the others killing ancient heavenly kings as they were not heavenly kings. Xuanda Grotto Heaven could not be considered to be very strong among the various factions of power. Even though it had one martial emperor and 5 absolute peaks, it was not weak. In the midst of a great battle, the slightest carelessness could lead to its destruction. Of the 108 blessed Grotto Heaven in the past, only 3 were left. Weiyu Mountain was in a precarious situation, let alone the Xuanda Grotto Heaven. Xuanda Grotto Heaven. In the heavenly palace, Xianqi's face was pale, looking at Xianji above. Master, the catacombs' true kings have returned. The war is endless. The number of true gods in the southern region is limited. The Xuanda Grotto Heaven has become the catacombs' main target. The humans have no more reinforcements. We're going to lose. Beside him, another absolute peak powerhouse said bitterly, Master, our disciples have suffered heavy losses. In the Mount Royal Sea region, the war is endless. In just a short period of time, almost half of the high-ranked martial artists in the Grotto Heaven have died in battle. The Human King and the others have not given any response. Defense, if this defense goes on, the Xuanda Grotto Heaven will be destroyed. Master, Sky Sword Saint sent an envoy to the Mount Royal Sea region to pass a message that the Xuanda Grotto Heaven belongs to the Heavenly Court. Master is the great sage king of the 36 saints. As soon as he said that, Xianhua growled, Brother, the 3 realms are in chaos. The flames of war are everywhere. Since the Xuanda Grotto Heaven has chosen the humans, if we turn back now, we will be courting death. Master has helped the humans several times. The disciples of the Xuanda Grotto Heaven have also fought many battles, with countless casualties. Now, we have been conferred by the humans to guard the southern region forever. All of this was exchanged with the lives of our disciples. Now that we belong to the heavenly court, won't all of our previous efforts be in vain? The disciples who died in vain. Xianqi said with grief and indignation, If you hadn't made a careless oath that day, today would not have happened. The humans asked us to guard the southern region, but right now, there are only 3 venerable emperors fighting against the Sky Sword Saint. There are countless venerable emperors and true gods in the catacombs. The humans have no reinforcements. If this continues, the Xuanda Grotto Heaven will become the next blessed Grotto Heaven to be destroyed. From then on, there will be no more Xuanda Grotto Heaven. Xianhua, all of this is because of you. Enough! Xianji shouted, interrupting the disciples' discussion. He frowned and looked ahead. In front of him was the main hall, and further ahead was the Mount Royal Sea. Now, the southern region had become a land that the catacombs and the humans had to fight over. No heavenly kings, no saints, no emperors. However, battles between true gods broke out from time to time. When it came to the number of true gods, the humans could not compare. The flames of war continued, and the Xuanda realm had also become the main target of the catacombs. There were threats and temptations. He had sent people to the human world to report the war, but until now, he had not received a reply. There were no reinforcements either. This made Xianji very helpless. The catacombs were still attacking the northern region. Once the northern region was pacified, the southern region would inevitably break out into a war. Now, in the Mount Royal Sea area, the Myriad Demon King and the Sky Demon King had already begun to lead the army there. Next, a great war would probably break out. Xianji sighed in his heart. The humans had many heavenly king powerhouses. Fong Ping, Martial King, Lin Zi, Heavenly King Subduing, Dragon Transformation, a total of 5. But now, these 5 powerhouses were also under some restrictions. It would be difficult for Heavenly King Subduing to attack now. The Human King was in seclusion. Martial King was in charge of human affairs. Lin Zi and Dragon Transformation were seriously injured, and the other had just advanced not long ago. They were all waiting for an opportunity. If this went on, he would be in trouble here. Xianji pondered for a moment and said, Don't be impatient. The Human King and the others will not sit back and watch the southern region fall. Once the southern region is lost, the humans will lose control of the land, and the battlefield will soon move to the human world. With the personality of the human king and the others, they will resist the enemy outside and will never drag the war into the human battlefield. So the reinforcements will arrive soon. Xianqi said in a low voice, but the heavenly kings are not attacking now. They want to recuperate, but also because they are restraining each other. If the heavenly kings stop fighting, how can the humans match the heavenly court? There were too many saints, emperors, and true gods in the heavenly court. In this regard, no force in the three realms was stronger than them, unless the Chu Wu lineage joined forces. Not only that, but there were also some forces that were defecting to the heavenly court. Some outer heavens emperors returned, feeling the pressure from all sides. There were already outer heavens clans defecting to the heavenly court, and some outer heavens chose the divine sect in the sea. Now, there were still a few outer heavens who had not made a choice. The few outer heavens who had previously cooperated with the humans had not made a choice yet, but they seemed to be hesitating whether or not to form an alliance with the humans. Among the four Brahmas, Changrong Heaven and Pingyu Heaven were almost destroyed, and the rest had defected to other parties. The son of Yulong Heaven's venerable Emperor Yulong was the deputy minister of heaven, and his dragon transformation was directly in the human world. These two outer heavens had reached an agreement with the humans, but the other outer heavens had not. The humans were not weak, but the strength of the middle class was still too weak, which made the powerhouses of these forces hesitate. Because once the high-end combat power was restricted and they defected to the humans, they were afraid that they would be the first to fight and would be instantly involved in the war. Just as Xianji was feeling a little tired, his eyes moved slightly, and the next moment, he walked down from the throne and walked out of the hall. When the others saw this, they all looked puzzled. At this moment, Xianji waved his hand, and the barrier of the bounded domain opened directly, revealing a passage that led directly to the outside world. In the outside world, Fang Ping was wearing the heaven battle uniform, smiling and nodding slightly, stepping into the air and striding forward. The Xuanda Grotto was also the first time he set foot in the heavenly palace's bounded domain. The last time he came, Fang Ping did not enter the heavenly palace again. This time, Venerable Emperor Xianji returned. He came out of closed-door cultivation, and the first place he came to was the Xuanda Grotto. Walking on the long imperial road, Fang Ping felt a little emotional. His mentality spread down, and Fang Ping saw the outer sect land below. He could not help but laugh, saying, "Venerable Emperor Xianji, the outer sect land below. Why don't you clean it up?" Xianji came to greet him with a few paragons and laughed when he heard this. "Why clean it up? If this place is not destroyed after a few years, maybe it will be a good story. The place where the former human king achieved enlightenment, isn't it?" Fang Ping laughed out loud. Some of the others could not help but laugh, and some coughed lightly without saying a word. The ground below was full of potholes, which Fang Ping had dug back then. It was really like digging 3 feet into the ground, and there was no soil left. Venerable Emperor Xianji replied and quickly smiled. "The human king actually came in person. Your presence brings light to my humble dwelling. Senior, don't be so polite." Fang Ping cupped his hands and sighed. "I know what happened in the Southern Territory. These days, the Xuanda Grotto has suffered. Many disciples have died in battle. I also know about this. I just came out of closed-door cultivation today, and Minister Zhang asked me to thank you on behalf of the human race. It's my duty." Venerable Emperor Xianji laughed, turning sideways and saying, "Since the human king is here, this old man's heart has also calmed down. Let's go in and talk." Fang Ping stepped forward, saying as he walked, "This place is really unforgettable. This is the first time I came here, and the senior tested us. Until now, I still remember the inlaid demon core on the throne." "Ha!" Xianji laughed. "If the human king likes it, just take it. That demon core is just an empty shell. Back then, I fought with a true god demon and killed the other party, but the essence has already been lost, and it's just a decoration." Fang Ping said regretfully, "That's a pity. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I didn't expect it to be a fake." If the human king likes it, wait for this old man to kill the catacomb's true god. There are many demons, and there is no shortage of demon cores. The two of them talked and laughed. At this moment, from all around the heavenly palace, many Schwanda grotto heaven powerhouses had rushed over. Some were excited, some were frowning. The human king was here, but it seemed like he did not bring reinforcements. The human king was a heavenly king powerhouse. Could it be that a battle between heavenly kings was going to break out now? Otherwise, the restrictions on both sides would be useless. In the main hall, Xianji asked Fong Ping to sit on the main seat, but Fong Ping refused, walking to a giant bronze chair at the side and sitting down. Seeing that he did not sit on the main seat, Xianji did not continue with the formalities. He did not go up either, but sat opposite Fong Ping. The other 5 true gods took their seats at this moment. The catacombs emissaries are recruiting the Schwanda Grotto Heaven again? Fong Ping's first sentence made the expressions of the few Schwanda Grotto Heaven powerhouses change slightly. Humans were still very well informed. Seniors, you don't have to think too much, Fong Ping said with a smile. This is how it should be. Li Zhu and Hong Yu are not the kind of people who act rashly. It's inevitable that they would rope in our people. The others are also not in the catacombs. Otherwise, it would be normal for people like Senior Dragon Transformation to be roped in. Xianji smiled and said, since the Schwanda Grotto Heaven has made a choice, I will not be indecisive. I understand this. In the face of a great war, if one stand is not firm, this is the path to death. Now, although the catacombs are strong, compared to 100 years ago, the human race's strength has increased by 100 or 1,000 times. The catacombs, on the other hand, are exhausting their resources, Fong Ping said with a smile. That's true. In terms of potential, the catacombs are definitely inferior to humans. Li Zhu and Hong Yu are astute. If the two of them join forces, they are indeed a great enemy of humans. They are even more troublesome than if new martial arts and the divine sect joined forces, but we are not afraid of them. However, now that all sides are restraining each other, the battle between heavenly kings and even saints will be extra cautious. In this way, the impasse realm has become the next peak combat strength and also the main force. In this aspect, humans are much weaker than the catacombs. This time, I came to change all of this to turn the situation around. Among the North, South, East, and West territories, the other 3 territories are not strong enough. If they give up, then so be it. But the southern region cannot be given up. These years, the southern region has been in countless battles and countless people have died. If we give up now, we will be letting down those martyrs. Xianji looked at Fong Ping. Turning the situation around was not as easy as it sounded. However, Fong Ping was a legend and a myth. Since he was here, he might have a plan. Fong Ping continued. This time, the catacombs have sent out myriad demon king, heavenly demon king, Jing Qi, 2 Grandmaster Emperors, and more than 30 true god powerhouses. They want to take down the southern region in one fell swoop. Li Zhu and Hong Yu are in contact with all sides, including the divine sect. They probably want to restrict us heavenly king martial artists from taking action. The other party did not hide it. They probably also want to force us to take the initiative to leave the southern region and let the catacombs unify. Xianji nodded. Indeed, the other party did not hide it. They probably also wanted to force the human race to take the initiative to leave the southern region. The southern region is the battlefield, the bridgehead, and also a nail in the future. Fong Ping said slowly, once the heaven-human boundary wall opens, the human world, the land realm, and overseas will become 3 forces, each of them independent. If the human race wants to continue to stick this nail in the catacombs and don't want the human world to become the main battlefield, then we can't retreat. Xianji nodded again. At this time, beside him, Xianqi said in a low voice, Lord Human King, right now, on the human side, there are not many Emperor powerhouses and true god martial artists. 3 Emperor realm powerhouses are resisting Heavenly Sword. In this way, there are 5 Emperor realm powerhouses on the opposite side, and only Master is resisting the other party. Fong Ping smiled. I know this. There are not many saints in the human race. Once the three Emperor Realm powerhouses retreat and let the saints take over, the other party will continue to increase their military strength. Moreover, the other party still has many saints. So if we don't want a large-scale war to break out, we can only maintain the current situation. Xianqi looked at him, frowning slightly. Fang Ping continued, but it's not like we don't have reinforcements. I've already asked Di Xing to help. Also, God of War has proven his Emperor Realm and will soon bring a few human powerhouses to join the battle. Xianji breathed a sigh of relief. Although three Emperor Realm powerhouses and some powerhouses were not as strong as the other party, they could still resist the other party's invasion. Not only that, Fang Ping smiled. If there are only three Emperor Realm powerhouses, then we're still under the control of others. The Emperor Realm powerhouses in the catacombs are actually limited. If we kill a few, their power at this stage will be greatly reduced. They're restricting us, and we're also restricting them. The catacombs' heavenly kings and saints also dare not join the battle rashly. If we kill their emperor-level powerhouses and some true gods, we'll have a great advantage. Xianji looked at him and did not speak for a while. Fang Ping did not say much. A Changdao appeared in his hand, and he smiled. This is the saber I took from the Chu Wu clan saint I killed previously. The quality is not bad, and I feel that it's stronger than the average holy weapon. Since Xuan de Grotto Heaven is the human race's stronghold in the southern region, Senior Xianji won't be able to do without a good weapon. Fang Ping handed the Changdao to Xianji. Then, a ball of origin qi appeared in his hand. There are a lot of imperishable substances in the blessed Grotto Heaven, but there shouldn't be a lot of origin qi. Seniors need it for their cultivation, so use this first. Xianji was slightly moved. There was a lot of origin qi. For them, origin qi was much more important than imperishable substances. After handing over the items, Fang Ping continued. Before I came to Xuan de Grotto Heaven, I went to Guan Ming Ming and Black Ming Ming. The two Outer Sky Emperors were summoned by me. At this moment, Outer Sky is already moving, and the entrance to the catacombs will be opened in the Mount Royal Sea area. Once the war breaks out, the two Emperors will come to help. The other Outer Skies seem to have closed the passageway to the human world. I haven't found the entrance, so I don't know their attitude for now. On Earth's side, many Outer Skies entrances have been discovered. However, these Outer Skies, a few had closed the passageway directly, perhaps the kind that would seal it forever. Obviously, they were a little afraid and did not dare to get involved. Now, no one knew where they had moved the entrance. Guan Ming Ming and Black Ming Ming's entrances were still there. The existence of the entrances actually meant that these two Outer Skies still wanted to take sides. Otherwise, they would not have dared to open the passageway to the human world rashly at this time. There were many heavenly kings in the human world. Fang Ping had come knocking on their doors, and the two emperors had promised to help in the war at the critical moment. This time, Xianji was completely relieved. He smiled and said, "That's good. That's good." In this way, there was no need to be afraid of the catacombs. Fang Ping smiled and said, "I'm not afraid, but it's difficult to kill the emperors." Before the catacombs, there were 4 royal courts and 4 leaders. Life King, Li Zhu, Myriad Demon King, Heavenly Demon King. Li Zhu can't be killed, and Life King is already dead. Now there are still 2 big Demon Clan Emperors alive. My idea is, if war breaks out, attack these 2 Demon Kings and try to kill them as much as possible. The demons now have no top-notch combat strength. The Dragon Island lineage has already surrendered to the Divine Sect. The demons in the catacombs should either be more obedient or go to the Dragon Island side. Getting involved at this time would be courting death. The demons have Heavenly King powerhouses. Now the only Heavenly King is the Dragon Transformation Heavenly Emperor. These demons are stubborn. Then kill them. Moreover, if we kill these 2, the demons in the catacombs might be chaotic and divided. It will also make those true gods hesitate. After all, the 4 leaders back then died one after another. The new heavenly court has just been re-established. Even if Li Zhu and Hong Yu are powerful, I'm afraid they won't be able to completely convince the masses. Xianji frowned slightly and said quickly, "I'll try my best, but it's not easy. I know this. I came here to tell you that at the critical moment, the target is these two. I will go to Weiyu Mountain and try to convince Saint Qingdong. If Saint Qingdong attacks at the critical moment, he can still kill the other party if he catches them off guard. Qingdong, Xianji frowned. I'm afraid this will be difficult. Qingdong is actually the Divine Emperor's heir. His master is the Divine Emperor's disciple. Now that Weiyu Mountain is sealed, I think he wants to wait for the Divine Emperor's return. Fong Ping nodded. I'll try my best. If he attacks at the critical moment, a saint, then the catacombs will have to pay a huge price. We will keep an eye on the other saints and heavenly kings in the catacombs. Xianji laughed. If Qingdong attacks, then there is hope to kill the other party. I'm afraid the catacombs will also be on guard. After all, Qingdong is in the southern territory. If a saint attacks, it will happen in the blink of an eye. They will also be on guard. It's okay. Fong Ping was not too concerned. If we can kill them, then kill them. If we can't kill them, we must force the catacombs to retreat. The Southern Territory humans will not give up. I will go to Immortal Seeking Island next. Since Heavenly King Lin Zi of the Spirit Emperor's bloodline is in the human race, Immortal Seeking Island should also have a choice. If we can rope in the two saints of Immortal Seeking Island, our pressure will be greatly reduced. Rest assured, Senior. Since you have chosen the human race, we will not let you fight alone. The human race is not the same as before. We have the strength to resist all strong enemies. Fong Ping comforted him for a while, and Xianji was relieved. With him and the 5 venerable emperors, they were not weaker than the catacombs, so there was nothing to worry about. Xianhua and the others also breathed a sigh of relief. Fong Ping came this time to appease his allies. However, in a short time, Fong Ping had roped in 2 grandmasters to help him in the battle. This was also a surprise. In this way, he did not have to bear so much pressure. Fong Ping left quickly. Before he left, his aura erupted, pressing toward Imperial Sea Mountain. On Imperial Sea Mountain's side, the radiance of the Heavenly King Seal and Saint Order was forced to retreat dozens of miles. The few venerable emperors were even more on guard against a formidable enemy. Fortunately, Fong Ping's aura flashed and disappeared quickly, disappearing at the edge of the Forbidden Sea. Only then did these people breathe a sigh of relief. Soon, a saint-level mentality spread to the edge of the Forbidden Sea, observing the fluctuations in space to prevent Fong Ping from crossing the realm again and secretly killing the catacombs' powerhouses. The news of Fong Ping coming out of closed-door cultivation soon spread to the new heavenly court. Not long after, the governor brought 2 saints to Imperial Sea Mountain to prevent Fong Ping from killing the venerable emperors. It was obvious that Fong Ping was vigilant. Chapter 1240. After leaving the Xuanda Grotto Heaven, he crossed the Forbidden Sea and headed straight for Immortal Seeking Island. Soon, the catacombs received news that he was heading for Immortal Seeking Island. Heavenly Court. Li Zhu and Hong Yu were playing chess. Hearing the news, Li Zhu shook his head and sighed. I'm afraid Immortal Seeking Island is going to join the humans. Since Lin Zi is with the humans, Kaidai's saint will not ignore her. Not many heavenly kings are on good terms with Emperor Ling Sherpa, is considered friendly. Now that Sherpa is gone and Lin Zi has broken through to become a heavenly king, if nothing goes wrong, Kaidai will soon lead Emperor Ling to join the humans. Hong Yu smiled. That's expected. He thought for a moment. Extreme Dao's Forest Sea. You've been in contact with them before. What was their reaction? The Forest Sea is waiting for Yao Qingjun to return. Where is Yao Qingjun? Li Zhu smiled. I don't know. The 3 reincarnations of Extreme Dao Heavenly Emperors are mysterious and hard to track. However, according to the scouts in the Forbidden Sea, all 3 have entered the Forbidden Sea. If they're not in the Chua mainland, they're deep in the Forbidden Sea and the border of the Tomb of Heaven. Hong Yu nodded and placed a chess piece. The Heavenly Court must reclaim the land realm. We cannot let the humans take root in the land realm. This is a nail in the heart. If we can't even reclaim the land realm, how will Outland, the Immortal Islands, and the bitter sea demons obey us? The humans have to retreat even if they don't want to. No one is willing to fight the heavenly kings now. We must use this time to conquer the outer regions. Li Zhu smiled. Qingtong is negotiating with Weiyu Mountain. He wants to give up Weiyu Mountain and go to Medicine God Island to meet up with the Divine Emperor. In exchange, he wants to see sovereign Dao techniques. Hong Yu frowned slightly and said softly, Emperor Dao techniques. Emperor Dao techniques cannot be passed down. Even if I did, he might not be able to see anything. Tell him that he wants to break through to the Heavenly King realm. Perhaps I can help. Qingtong's mentality is strong and his body is not weak either. However, when he became a true god, his body was still lacking. It will be difficult now. Hong Yu nodded and smiled. That's not a problem. Back then, when I entered my father's treasury, I took some jade bones. Shattered jade bones can help him reforge his physical body. If his great Dao keeps up, breaking through to the next realm won't be a problem. Li Zhu placed a piece as well. What I'm afraid of is that after he becomes a heavenly king, he'll join the human race. I won't. Hong Yu smiled. His master is about to revive. His master is the direct descendant of the Divine Emperor. Even if Qingtong wants to join the human race, he will not do so after his master revives. The bloodline of the Divine Emperor is still observing. His master and I were friends in the past. That's good. Li Zhu grinned. Fang Ping has been biding his time. I'm afraid he's waiting for a great victory. According to my intel, Earthly Xing has already sneaked into the southern territory through the Forbidden Sea. However, the fact that the war god of the Hall of Gods had broken through and become a venerable sovereign was kept a secret. The profound brightness sky and the observant brightness sky are moving in the dark. Judging from their direction, they should be in the direction of the southern region. Li Zhu continued. As soon as he entered the land, he went to the mystic virtue realm. I'm afraid he's trying to appease Xianji. With the arrival of the 5 emperors, Fang Ping is probably plotting against the venerable sovereigns at Mount Royal Sea. I've already predicted this. Hong Yu smiled. He's not a man who follows the rules. If nothing goes wrong, he'll start a war soon. He might even attack secretly. Be careful. He might disguise himself as a venerable sovereign. Keep an eye on Mount Royal Sea these days. Li Zhu nodded slightly. Everyone knew that Fang Ping was not a man who followed the rules. In fact, not many people really followed the rules. Rules were built when everyone moved. There were no benefits to speak of. If there were benefits, then the so-called heavenly kings not being able to fight would become a joke. As for Weiyu Mountain, I'll reach an agreement with Qingtong as soon as possible. Fang Ping has gone to Immortal Seeking Island now. He might be trying to confuse us and contact Weiyu Mountain secretly. Let Tianji and Tianming go near Weiyu Mountain to intimidate Qingtong and make him think twice. The two conversed for a while. Finally, Li Zhu said, There's another problem in the southern region. Hong Yu frowned slightly, feeling a headache coming on. He sighed. Wanwu Mountain is a little troublesome. Li Zhu looked up and placed another chess piece. The black pieces surrounded the white pieces. Li Zhu said softly, Wanwu Mountain is a thorn in our side if we don't get rid of it. Moon Spirit is very powerful, and the powerhouses of the North Emperor's bloodline have awakened. They'll be rushing to Wanwu Mountain soon. Now, if we want to take over the entire land, the humans are the biggest threat. Wanwu is second. In the 3 major realms, the Mystic Virtue realm will be destroyed. If nothing goes wrong, Qingtong will leave Weiyu Mountain. When that time comes, Wanwu will be the only thorn in our side in this huge land. Then he added, Brother Yu, if you want to fight and break out of the situation, you're too soft-hearted. A single mistake can lead to everlasting sorrow. You should understand this. Li Zhu said in a low voice, Countless living beings in the land and the remnants of the Demon Emperor dynasty fought the 3 realms for you. Now, they're fighting the 3 realms again without leaving you. Wanwu Mountain is not fair. Brother Yu, we won't be able to explain to those elders who have followed you for 6,000 years. Hong Yu sighed and nodded. I know. When Weiyu Mountain moves, I'll go to Wangwu. I think it's better to do it as soon as possible, Li Zhu said in a low voice. The war will break out at any time. Moon's spirit is unpredictable. Once she intervenes at a critical moment, the whole situation may change. Fang Ping is a sinister person, and Zhang Tao is also full of schemes. Once they reach an agreement with Wang Wu, there will be great trouble. Hong Yu smiled bitterly and gave up. The white piece had been lost, but there was still a small piece left. Li Zhu casually smashed it. If Wang Wu doesn't move, the tables will turn at any time. Hong Yu nodded and exhaled. I'll go as soon as possible. But sigh. Hong Yu sighed again. Moon's spirit is a little difficult. I'll think about how to get her to move Wang Wu. Li Zhu said nothing as he watched him leave. If the Celestial Court wanted to dominate the three realms, it was necessary to chase away Wanwu Mountain and beat the humans back to the human world. The humans were determined, and so was the Celestial Court. They would not hesitate to fight. The humans did not want the battlefield to be in the human world. They did not want to have spies in the outer realm either. If they could not defeat the humans, it would be really troublesome. The Celestial Court would be rebuilt. This was a battle that had to be fought. Not only did they have to fight, they had to make a name for themselves. Thinking of this, Li Zhu tapped the chessboard lightly and said quickly, "Tell King Maple and King Hua to come see me." Yes, King Maple and King Hua. That day, King Maple followed the two kings into the fake sky grave. King Fate was killed by Fang Ping, but King Maple followed the two kings and entered safely. After that, he kept a low profile in the fake sky grave. He actually made it out alive. As for King Hua, he had worked with Zhang Tao before, but now he was still active in the catacombs and was not blamed. King Hua and Zhang Tao worked together because of benefits. This was also a common trait among many powerhouses. Hong Yu had worked with Fang Ping before, and Li Zhu had also worked with Zhang Tao. This was nothing. Everyone could tolerate someone like King Hua, let alone King Hua. Soon the two arrived. Li Zhu looked at them. These two were powerhouses from the Sky Plant's royal court, one step away from the emperor level. Now, they were about to become emperor. When the two arrived, they bowed slightly. Li Zhu was no longer the sickly Li Zhu. He was the heavenly king Li Zhu, the heavenly king who had broken 7. The two had complicated feelings about Li Zhu. Back then, they wanted to replace him and control the entire Sky Plant's royal court. But now, the Sky Plant's royal court was gone. It was replaced by the Heavenly Court. The Heavenly Court had two masters, Li Zhu and Hong Yu. Both were top powerhouses. Now, the two had no time for that. Thump, thump, thump. Li Zhu's slender fingers tapped the chessboard lightly, making thumping sounds. King Maple exhaled softly and said, "What do you need, King Lord? You're already an emperor. What do you need?" King Maple said in a low voice, "You need some origin chi." Origin chi. We have our own life imprints, so we can't help you much. But there were some cat fruits in the past. There are 3 left in the treasury. After you eat them, you should be able to complete the emperor-level transformation. What do you need me to do, King Lord? Li Zhu smiled. Simple. The human god of war has just become an emperor. When the war breaks out, you will lead people to kill the god of war. Yes, King Maple agreed quickly. If he wanted to survive in the heavenly court, he had to fight. At the side, King Hua did not say a word. Li Zhu smiled. It will be difficult for Hua Yu to become a true god. This king and brother Hong Yu have reached the 7th Ascension realm. Our comprehension of the great Tao is deep. Brother Hong Yu and I will enter his origin and forcefully open the great Tao to help him become a true god. What do you think? King Hua said in a low voice. Will there be any future problems? Li Zhu smiled. Of course there will be. But after becoming a true god, he can go into seclusion for a few days to get rid of these problems. What does King Lord need me to do? You have cooperated with King Wu, and you fought together with the human clan's experts. I didn't make things difficult for you, and I'm afraid you don't want to fall out with the human clan at this moment. You deal with Di Xing, the venerable sovereign who borrowed the way. Maybe you can use his power to become a venerable sovereign. King Hua thought for a moment and said, I want to see why you become a true god before I act. Sure. Li Zhu laughed, waved his hand, and said, You go ahead. The two quickly left. After a while, someone else arrived. It was a weathered old man. The old man looked at Li Zhu and bowed slightly, his eyes complicated. King Lord, Brother Tianyu is too polite. Li Zhu was much more polite this time. He invited him to sit and smiled. All these years, it's all thanks to Brother Tianyu that I can reach this point. Lifting his hand, Li Zhu didn't give Tianyu a chance to speak. He said softly, In this era, the Monster Plant clan has a high chance of becoming a monarch. Now the human race has heavenly wood and the cat tree, so there is hope. Brother Tianyu also has hope in the heavenly court. Brother Tianyu has already become an emperor and is now the Monster Plant guardian of the heavenly court. His cultivation realm is advancing at a rapid pace. Saints and heavenly kings are in front of him. Heavenly Wood is the ancient heavenly court's guardian, but he has never been conferred a title. Brother Tianyu is different. Therefore, the hope of becoming an emperor lies between Brother Tianyu and Heavenly Wood. Tianyu said with a complicated look, I never thought about this in the past. I just wanted to become an emperor and make the Monster Plant clan independent. The two monster race royal courts are both controlled by the Monster Beast clan. I never thought that I would become an emperor. Brother Li, please tell me what you need. Li Zhu smiled and said, You're a Monster Plant clan. The Monster Plant clan's abilities aren't weak, but they aren't obvious. This time, you will be useful. Take a few true gods of the Monster Plant clan and hide in the void. Seal the void in secret. Take root in the first heaven and hide your presence. When you feel the ripples of space, seal the void passage. If the heavens beyond heaven doesn't notice, the passage won't be able to open. Understand? Tianyu smiled and said, This isn't difficult. The Monster Plant clan isn't alive. It was sad, but it was the truth. Most of the time, monster plants weren't alive. If they took root in the void and hid in the dark, it would be hard to be discovered if they didn't move. When the heavens beyond heaven opened a passage, the Monster Plant clan's experts had countless roots. If there was a ripple, they could easily sense it and cut off the passage. In the future, Li Zhu smiled and said, I promised you that day, so of course I will do it. Brother Tian, you made a great contribution this time. Brother Yu and I will go to Medicine God Island. The Divine Emperor bloodline has divine medicines that can help the Monster Plant clan's cultivation. Brother Yu and I will exchange for some for Brother Tianyu. Thank you, King Lord. Tianyu hurriedly thanked him. He knew a lot about the Divine Emperor bloodline. This bloodline specialized in studying monster plants. If the two powerhouses went to ask for some treasures for him, he might have a huge harvest. Tianyu left soon after. Li Zhu fell into deep thought again. 5 venerable emperors. King Maple and King Hua each dealt with one. Tianji led many Monster Plant clan true gods to seal the passage. The two heavens beyond heaven's venerable emperors might not be able to open the passage and miss the opportunity. Once the battle broke out, Sky Demon King and the other 5 venerable emperors would lead many true gods to kill the Xuanda Grotto heaven powerhouses quickly and intimidate everyone. Who else would help Fong Ping and Zhang Tao besides Weishan? Li Zhu fell into deep thought. There should be someone else. Fong Ping probably had the idea of killing their venerable emperors to intimidate everyone. Will the saints make a move? Skywood, Feng Yun, Kai Dai, Taoist Nun Wen Xian, North Sea. 5 saints. Heavenly Sword Palm Print. Hold the Sky Bell, and the 3 emperors. The 3 saints hold Dragon Transformation. Second King. Hold Lindsay. I'll keep an eye on Fong Ping. If Hong Yu doesn't make a move, Heavenly King Jin probably won't either. Li Zhu calculated for a while. 11 saints and 2 Heavenly King powerhouses all had missions. They had to hold back the human powerhouses, including Feng Yin and the others who might make a move. Qing Tong had to let Weishan leave as soon as possible. There's also Ash Cat, Lin Hai, and the God Creation Envoy's clone, Li Zhu calculated. Lin Hai of the Extreme Tao was an uncertain factor, but it did not affect him much. He was in the depths of the Forbidden Sea. Once he arrived, the battle would probably be over. Heavenly Emperor Yu Long is an old fox. He won't make a move easily. Ash Cat, Li Zhu fell into deep thought again. Although Ash Cat said he wouldn't make a move, who could guarantee that? Previously, Heavenly King Zhen Wang defeated the Chu Wu lineage, but Ash Cat made a move and walked out of the human world. The strongest of the Chu Wu lineage made a move. Then no one could say anything. God Creation Envoy, Li Zhu smiled. It was fine. Although his teacher was hidden, it did not mean he was not there. He would keep an eye on the God Creation Envoy. After thinking it over carefully, Li Zhu fell into silence. It should be about time. The high-end combat power was restrained. The human race did not want to suffer too many losses. After the mystic virtue realm was destroyed, they should retreat from the southern region and return to the human world. He did not want an all-out war to break out now. In fact, the human race did not want it either. The high-end combat power did not come out, also to prevent the divine sect and the Chu Wu lineage. Restraining each other was also to preserve their combat power. Now, Fong Ping had also reached the era of being restrained. Li Zhu thought about it and suddenly laughed. He did not know what Fong Ping was thinking. Now that he was stronger, it was not as convenient to do some things as it was in the past. The human race still has Li Zhen in seclusion. I heard that Heavenly King Zhen Wang is helping him to advance to the Saint Realm. I wonder if he will succeed. War King and the others have disappeared. Did they go to the place where the Demon Emperor went? Li Zhu had some thoughts in his mind, but he quickly suppressed them. Even if Li Zhen appeared, the possibility of turning the situation around was not high. However, the current human race was indeed quite strong. Although most of them were external forces, the Heavenly Court was also an alliance of many forces. Li Zhu could not help but sigh. The speed at which the human race became stronger was beyond imagination. Calculate your ass. While Li Zhu was plotting, Fong Ping muttered under his breath, "Calculate my ass." He could guess that once he appeared, the two old foxes, Li Zhu and Hong Yu, would definitely have an idea. Currently, Fong Ping was not on Immortal Quest Island. He had gone to Immortal Quest Island, but it was a clone. After he restrained his aura, no one could tell the difference between the clone and the real one. His rank 1 aura changed from rank 2 to rank 1. Others would also be confused. Currently, Fong Ping did not go anywhere else but to Mount Wangwu. As for Weiyu Mountain, Qing Tong was only a saint. Fong Ping did not care. This guy was not brave. He might not dare to get involved. The Heavenly King was still brave. The Heavenly King was the powerful combat power that could change the situation of the three realms. Moon Spirit was the target. Who would go to Weiyu Mountain? If they had nothing better to do, Li Zhu would definitely think of it. Hong Yu too. He would not go to Weiyu Mountain. Mount Wangwu was still better. With a crazy lady here, Li Zhu and Hong Yu did not dare to monitor. Of course, one had to keep a low profile. There were no men on Mount Wangwu. A grown man like Fong Ping would be too conspicuous if he came. At this moment, although Fong Ping was not dressed in female clothes, he was still an illusion of mentality. In the eyes of powerhouses below Emperor rank, this was a woman. A familiar woman, Ling Xiao. He did not conceal his aura too much. Soon, someone rushed over. Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao was also below Emperor rank. When she saw Fong Ping, her face turned green. The Fong Ping in her eyes was what she looked like. Wasn't this guy shameless? She did not have to guess to know that this was Fong Ping. "What are you doing here?" Fong Ping said impatiently. "Be more polite. Do you want to die? I killed heavenly kings like slaughtering chickens. Who gave you the guts to scold a heavenly king? You're looking for your grandmaster. Lead the way. Hurry up." "You. What about you?" "No matter how protective Moon Spirit Heavenly King is, if you dare to be impolite, I'll kill you. I'd like to see if Moon Spirit Heavenly King will care about the life and death of a true god." Fong Ping turned from guest to host, extremely domineering. At this moment, Moon Spirit's voice was heard. "Come in. Why bother with Ling Xiao?" Fong Ping said casually. "Senior Moon Spirit, it's not that I'm bickering with her, but you have to discipline this grand disciple of yours. She's impolite and has no respect for powerhouses. In ancient times, I was also an overlord. When I went in and out of the 9 palaces, I was also a distinguished guest. Only someone with a status like Senior Moon Spirit can treat me as an equal. She's a true god martial artist, yet she repeatedly offended me. If it weren't for Senior, I would have killed her long ago. Ling Xiao's face turned red. Moon Spirit said lightly, Ling Xiao, there won't be a next time. Ling Xiao's face turned pale. She hurriedly bowed and said, Little Xiao understands. Fong Ping chuckled. Ling Xiao lowered her head and did not look at him. Perhaps only she knew how sullen she felt inside. Unfortunately, the current Fong Ping, even Moon Spirit treated him with respect. Even if she was unwilling, she could not change anything. Soon, both of them entered Mount Wangwu. It was Fong Ping's first time entering Mount Wangwu. As soon as he entered the world wall, he was speechless. The energy is so rich. What a pity. Ling Xiao wanted to say something, but remembered Moon Spirit's words. She shut her mouth instantly. In the next moment, a figure appeared in front of both of them. Moon Spirit said lightly, Didn't you go to Immortal Quest Island? Why are you here at Wangwu? Fong Ping laughed. Senior, you know about it too? Seems like I can't hide it no matter where I go. It's too eye-catching. Moon Spirit looked at him indifferently. Fong Ping laughed. Let's talk inside. Say what you want to say. Take your time. Fong Ping chuckled. It's related to jade bones. It's a big secret. I have to tell you slowly. Senior, you're not in a hurry. Moon Spirit sneered. She did not say a word. Like a ghost, she appeared at the peak of Mount Wangwu in the next moment. Seeing this, Fong Ping chuckled and followed suit. It was troublesome to deal with women, but who asked this woman to be so powerful? The catacombs wanted to chase away humans. Fong Ping also wanted to raid their lair, kill Heavenly Sword, and seize the Heavenly King Seal and Saint Order. Emperor rank? Fong Ping did not care. Did he want to kill an emperor rank? He wanted to kill all the saints in his family. Did Li Zhu and Hong Yu really think that he cared about those emperor ranks? Fighting an emperor rank now was like fighting a baby. Who cared? Saints, on the other hand, were a little harder to fight. Moreover, saints had hopes of advancing to Heavenly King. The probability was very high now, and so was the chance. Fong Ping was guarding against these saints, not those emperor rank powerhouses. Stepping into the void and following her, Fong Ping looked around. He did not see Saint Yue. He did not know where she went. He did not seem to sense her aura either. Was she not at Mount Wangwu? If she was not here, that woman Moon Spirit would have other plans. As soon as they reached the peak, Fong Ping said, Senior, you don't have a true jade bone yet, right? How much progress has your jade bone been made? Did your vitality change by 1, 5 times if not 2 times? Preemptive strike. Without waiting for Moon Spirit to speak, Fong Ping said again, Senior, the probability of grinding jade bones is not high. If you don't break the gate of life, it's almost a fool's dream to forge jade bones. But I have a way. Moon Spirit glanced at him and said calmly, Say this to me when you've reached jade bones. Fong Ping smiled and said, This will happen sooner or later. I've just advanced. That's why I'm a little slow. As he said that, Fong Ping's skin was translucent, glistening with a jade-like luster. He chuckled and said, It's not jade bones, but it's also at the boundary between golden bones and jade bones. Look how fast. I spent a whole day forging. Usually I'm too lazy to waste energy on this. Moon Spirit. She was exhausted. Fong Ping pretended to be 13. He was doing it to her, but she had nothing to say. She really wanted to send Fong Ping flying with a punch right now. However, looking at Fong Ping's glowing jade-like skin, Moon Spirit's expression changed slightly. How could it be so fast? Chapter 1241. What do you want to do? Moon Spirit asked directly. Fong Ping chuckled and said, Senior, it's simple. Recently, I want to do something. The catacombs are probably guarding against me. One of the 3 heavenly kings is not to be trifled with. Old John will restrain one. Garrison Heavenly King will restrain one. I will think of a way to get the weapon god out and restrain one too. Then why are you still looking for me? Fong Ping laughed and said, Those fellows from the catacombs are very sinister. Old Zhang and the weapon god's avatar. Their combined strength is probably enough to fight one person. At the critical moment, they can't hold them off. You want me to help you restrain one person. You want to seize the Heavenly King seal and Saint Token? Fong Ping said with a look of surprise. Senior, you are very intelligent. Moon's spirit felt that he was mocking her. Anyone with a discerning eye could see this. How could the catacombs' heavenly kings not understand Fong Ping's thoughts? They have been guarding against him. Even if I help you, you might not have a chance. Fong Ping nodded. Yes, Chu Wu and the Divine Sect are all variables. And the Weapon Master is also a variable. There are too many variables. Everyone doesn't want me to seize these things. That's why I find it troublesome. Since you still want to try? Fong Ping said with a look of surprise. Of course. Since I want it, then it's mine. Why shouldn't I try? Moon's spirit felt that it was difficult for her brain circuits to keep up with Fong Ping. Her face was cold, hiding all her emotions. She said in a low voice, What do you want to do? What can I get? Fong Ping laughed and said, Hong Yu and the others probably have arrangements. Even the Weapon Masters and Palm Seal Masters have missions. It's not a small problem. These people still want to chase away humans. Anyway, they don't have good intentions. Chu Wu probably won't get involved now, but it's hard to say for the Divine Sect. Fong Ping laughed and said, As for me, I have a way to deal with the Divine Sect. I won't cause trouble for the Divine Sect. Old Zhang and Li Zhu are old friends. They have a brotherhood for a while. The Weapon Master and Garrison Heavenly King are on good terms. I handed this variable to Garrison Heavenly King. If he doesn't come out, I'll hand the Palm Seal to him. The Weapon God's avatar may not be useful. I think it might be better to release a Heavenly King's combat, such as Dragon Transformation or Lindsay. Let him deal with the two kings. Moon's spirit still frowned. Since you've already made arrangements, why are you still looking for me? Fong Ping exclaimed, I didn't calculate Hong Yu. Moon's spirit's expression froze. It seems so. Fong Ping continued, As for Hong Yu, I would like to leave it to you, Senior. What do you think? Senior, as long as you help me hold Hong Yu back, I will tell you how to forge real jade bones. Fong Ping continued, I want to take advantage of this opportunity to see if I can get rid of 11 saints. There are too many saints. If they all become heavenly kings one day, where can I go to seek justice? Fong Ping sighed. Hong Yu's strength is unclear. I'm under a lot of pressure. Moon's spirit frowned. How do I forge jade bones? You can't be thinking that this empress will believe you just because of your words, right? Fong Ping laughed. Of course not. There were many ways to forge jade bones. First, grinding it would take countless years and was too difficult. The second was to break the gate of life. Senior had no chance, otherwise he would have broken it long ago. Third, learn the God Creation Envoy. Forget it, he probably won't do it, so let's not talk about it. Fourth, fuse some jade bones. Senior should not be too far away from jade bones. As long as you dismantle some jade bones, it shouldn't be a big problem. Humph! You mean Emperor Badian? Moon's spirit knew about this. She said coldly, Where are there so many beginner martial jade bone powerhouses to dismantle your bones? I'm not talking about them. Fong Ping laughed. Senior, you don't have to rush these few days. I'm talking about me. I feel that I'm almost there. Forging jade bones only takes a little time, and it's the full-body kind. Senior, help me hold Hong Yu back. When I reach the jade bone realm, I'll dismantle all my bones for you. Is that okay? Fong Ping laughed carelessly. Senior, think about it. Although my bones are not as strong as yours now, if we forge jade bones together, I'll definitely be faster. When I have jade bones, it will be very troublesome for others to regenerate. But I don't lack imperishable substances, I don't lack origin chi, I don't lack anything. If I exhaust myself to death, I can still recover. Senior, this is a rare opportunity. In this 3 realms besides me, is there anyone else who is willing? Forging jade bones in advance is definitely beneficial. Otherwise, you might as well break 8 before forging. Why do you have to grind for so many years? Fong Ping chuckled. I'll give my bones to you, Senior. Is that reliable? Just dismantle them. I'll probably have a chance in half a year. Of course, it's only if I'm not dead. If I'm dead, there's nothing left. It's considered a risk investment. After all, I'll have to dismantle my jade bones just to hold Hongyu back. It's worth the risk. Moon's spirit furrowed her brows. In her heart, she sighed at Fong Ping's ruthlessness and confidence. He wanted to forge jade bones. Dismantle his bones for her to forge jade bones? If he was not ruthless, he would not have said that. You want to kill those saints? 11 saints? Of course. Fong Ping laughed. Why does the three realms need so many saints? There are too many saints. One day, they'll all become heavenly kings. Are heavenly kings still valuable? Hongyu and Li Zhu are so petty. They think a few emperor-level saints can get rid of me. I'm not interested. If I'm going to do it, I'll do it big. I like to do big deals. I don't care about small deals. Senior, how about giving me an answer? I'll give you a set of future jade bones in exchange for holding Hongyu back. That's my only request. Moon's spirit frowned. Hongyu is extremely powerful. Once he notices something amiss, he'll definitely. Fong Ping was helpless. It's so simple. Bring him on a long journey. Find the location of the Earth Palace in the past and reminisce about your youth. He probably wants to take Mount Wangwu away. If you say you want to take a walk, will he say no? It's too simple. When he realizes that something is wrong and wants to come back, Senior, just stop him a little. If you can stop him, then do it. If you can't, I might even kill a few saints. Anyway, I don't need you to take too much of a risk. It's not too much trouble. Men are like this. Don't worry, Senior. If you say you're going to reminisce and not pester him anymore, I promise he'll be happy to. The corner of Moon's spirit's mouth twitched slightly. Why did his words sound so awkward? Senior, what do you think? Moon's spirit said coldly. Even so, there are 11 saints. Tianji and Tianming are about to break through. If they break through during the battle, your plan will fail again. That's fine. If I fail, I fail. Fong Ping grinned. Failure is the mother of success. If I fail this time, I'll try again next time. I'm not afraid of failure. Moreover, Senior doesn't need to worry about these things. Oh, right, if Saint Yue is willing to help, I have other benefits. A large amount of origin chi. Saints need this now. True gods and emperors are all the same. There are benefits. Fong Ping said quickly. He added, Senior, try to bring him far away. It'll take him at least a minute to come back. That's the best. When he comes back, I'll kill all his subordinates. Aren't you afraid he'll go crazy? Fong Ping sneered. What's there to be afraid of? If he goes crazy, won't we? Everyone is restraining themselves now because we don't want others to take advantage of us. If he goes crazy, we'll go crazy together and kill him. Everyone will be happy to watch the show. At most, both sides will suffer. Senior, you should know that if we really want to fight Hongyu to the death, the first one to stop us will be Li Zhu. The Palm Seal envoy won't take the risk either. If a saint dies, so be it. It's not a decisive battle strength. It's not a big deal. Moon's spirit listened to his words and felt a little sour. Saints were nothing. What arrogance! Not only that, this guy was really crazy to go against 11 saints at once. Would the divine sect not intervene? How could he have the confidence to deal with the divine sect? Even if the divine sect did not intervene, 11 saints would not be easy to deal with if they fought to the death. Where did Fong Ping get the confidence to kill 11 saint powerhouses? Fong Ping. Fong Ping saw her hesitation and interrupted. Senior, do you dare? I'll use my jade bones in exchange for you holding him back once. You'll be taking revenge for him abandoning you for 8,000 years. In the end, Senior hesitated again and again. I thought you were a hero among women. That's all there is to it. Moon's spirit's expression turned cold. Fong Ping did not care at all. He said mildly, people are afraid of crazy women. When you came out of seclusion, who wouldn't be afraid of you? What about now? In this crazy era, pretending to be profound is useless. You bunch of old antiques can't see through this. You always think that everything will go according to your plan. No, I'm going to break these rules and destroy these plans. I'm not going to follow your routine. Fong Ping sneered. You think I want to kill a saint? No, maybe I want to kill a heavenly king. Maybe you think I don't dare to go against you. No, I'm going to go against you. You think I'm enemies with the divine sect. That's not necessarily true. Maybe I'll work with King Kuan and destroy Hong Yu first. Let the divine sect move to the catacombs. I don't want the catacombs. I'll give it to him. If he's afraid, I'll let old Zhang and Hong Yu fight to the death. If old Zhang dies, they'll be at ease, right? If it doesn't work, I'll let Heavenly King Suppression fight Hong Yu. King Kuan will laugh himself to death. You think I can't command? You're wrong. I can. Because I'm omnipotent. Fong Ping was smug. He chuckled. In terms of craziness, you guys can't do it. I can do it. I'm afraid of death. Then I won't die. I'll let King Wu die. It's definitely not a problem. The premise is that I can protect humanity. It's that simple. Whatever you want, I won't give it to you. Didn't the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors plot against humanity? If I lose, I'll blow up Earth. Do you think it's fake? It's real. I've King buried countless bombs and nuclear bombs on Earth. Although Earth has recovered some energy now and its strength has increased, I can still blow up Earth. Who asked you to plot against me? Plot against your mother. Fong Ping cursed. He said scornfully, You want to play with me? What are you playing at? If I lose in the end, you guys lose too. We'll lose together. What's so great about the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors? The old antiques calculations are all on paper. Do you really think you can manipulate people's hearts? So, I've thought about it. There are only 2 outcomes for me. Either I lose together with you guys, or I win. It's that simple. Moon Spirit's expression kept changing. She said in a low voice, You want to blow up the human world? You guys have been fighting for the human race for hundreds of years. Fong Ping laughed. Yes. Why? Indiscriminate destruction, I can do it. If you ask old Zhang, he'll probably say, It's fine if we die. Maybe there's still hope for humanity. I won't do it. I think I'm the hope. If I die, then there's no hope. I'm that selfish. If I lose, none of you will have it easy. What's wrong? You don't know me? Don't understand me? Fong Ping laughed. I've always been this kind of person. The Fong Ping in your imagination is different from the real Fong Ping. I have no bottom line more than you. Fong Ping curled his lips. Smug, savage, arrogant, crazy. He was even a little hysterical. Moon Spirit frowned. Was this Fong Ping? Really, she did not expect Fong Ping to say that. How ruthless. Too ruthless. If he died, he would bring the human race down with him. Lunatic. Billions of humans. How would he dare? How would King Wu agree? How would Heavenly King Jin agree? Fong Ping seemed to know what she was thinking. He laughed. Of course they won't agree. But there are some things that they don't have to agree to. It's not like I, Fong Ping, am not loyal to the death. I've wrapped those things in origin chi and buried them all over the world. I've hidden them very well. When they weren't here before, I got someone to find them. Now that I'm still alive, they won't go around looking for me. If they do, they'll fall out with me. If they don't, I'm dead. Bang, I'll explode. Fong Ping chuckled. Are you surprised? I'm really looking forward to showing all of you the biggest fireworks in the 3 realms. The most beautiful fireworks. I'll bury the whole world with you and ruin your 10,000-year plan. Fong Ping stopped laughing. His eyes were cold. So, let's work together. If we work together, I'll only benefit if I win. If I lose, there's no benefit to speak of. I'll tell you about this, Senior. Why? Because I don't think your chances of winning are high. You can only win if you work together with me. The others, they all have a chance of winning. I'm too lazy to tell them, just in case something goes wrong. Senior, I'm being honest with you. Fong Ping was like a lunatic. His tone changed again. The coldness just now disappeared. He chuckled. Let's do it. If we win, Jade Bones. If we lose, you won't lose anything, right? Moon Spirit took a deep breath. I think that out of all the heavenly kings in the 3 realms, you're the real lunatic. I'm forced by all of you. Fong Ping disagreed. You're all forcing me. Of course, I'll go crazy. You're much more dangerous than King Wu and the rest. Fong Ping nodded. Senior, you're right. King Wu and the rest still have a conscience and a bottom line. I don't have any of these. Because I know I'm not as old as all of you. I can only be more ruthless than all of you. Scheming and scheming. You old antiques are beating around the bush. I'm getting dizzy. Then I won't scheme anymore. It's better to be straightforward. Moon Spirit was speechless for a moment. For a moment, she was actually a little afraid of Fong Ping. Yes, disappointed. She thought she was ruthless enough. Compared to Fong Ping, she realized that she was inferior. The human world. Countless humans guarded the human world. Humans who would not despair until the last moment. Perhaps no one had ever thought of letting the human world accompany them in death. Now there was Fong Ping. The Fong Ping who was hailed as the hope of humanity. The King Fong Ping. You don't deserve to be the King Fong. Fong Ping nodded. With a serious expression, he said, that's why I've severed my path. The Emperor path. What kind of King Fong am I? What kind of Emperor am I? Old Zhang is. I'm not. Senior, don't you see? If I sever my path, then I'm not. I'm just carrying a name. Moon Spirit closed her eyes. After a while, she opened them and said, I agree. Fong Ping, if you don't die, I'm afraid the 3 realms will tremble because of you. It's already trembled many times. Fong Ping chuckled. As long as you agree, Senior, I'll show you the fireworks later. There are 11 of them. I wonder if I can release all of them. If I do, the 3 realms will tremble. Hong Yu and the rest will have to cry and go to King Kuan to cooperate with them. Thinking about it, King Kuan and the rest will thank me. Then it's settled. Fong Ping smiled. We'll take action in 3 days. Within 3 days, Senior, you'd better get Hong Yu out of here. I like efficiency. I'll settle it as soon as possible and end it as soon as possible. Of course, I'll be on my guard too. If you and your wife work together to set me up, then I'll be in trouble. Fong Ping thought about it and smiled. Senior, if you really want to set me up, King Wu and I will specifically kill you. No, the entire human race. If we kill you, we'll kill your family. I'll tell King Kuan and the rest not to interfere. Let King Wu self-destruct to kill you. They'll be more than happy to. You and your wife are too scary. Fong Ping chuckled as he threatened. Moon Spirit's face trembled as she listened. Fong Ping smiled. I'm serious. I don't like to lie. When I'm on the brink of death, I'll pull Song Mao in front of me and let you and your wife kill him. When Heavenly Dog, Tian Chun, Spirit Emperor, and the rest awaken, they'll seek revenge on you. They'll only stop when they kill you. Moon Spirit could not help but growl. If you don't believe me, why come to me? Just in case. Fong Ping smiled. This is called saying the ugly things first. I'm sincerely cooperating with you. If I wanted to set you up, then I wouldn't have said these disgusting things. I'll tell you now so you can rest assured, Senior. I'm just like that. Young people, hot-tempered and straightforward. Moon Spirit's expression darkened. Fong Ping, being too arrogant might not be a good thing. You're too independent and suspicious. You might not even fully trust King Wu and Heavenly King subduing. If this goes on, you might not have a good ending. What? Fong Ping was stunned. A person like me can have a good ending? Don't joke around, old lady. If I don't win, I'll be number 1 in the 3 realms. If I don't die a horrible death, I'll die without a burial place. You're still hoping for a good ending? How childish. You, Moon Spirit, almost died of anger. Fong Ping chuckled. That's it then. I'll leave first. I still have things to do. Go to the Divine Sect and have a chat with King Kuan. Maybe we can work together to deal with Hong Yu and the rest. Sea Guardian and the rest can also talk to them. Oh yeah, beginner martial artists are fine too. Fong Ping turned around and left. As he walked, he mumbled, should I sell the Ash Cat in exchange for a few beginner martial powerhouses? If I sell the Ash Cat, it should be worth this price. Ash Cats are really valuable. I have to bring this cat along and be ready to sell it at any time. Moon Spirit's expression kept changing. Was he joking? On purpose? But she did not dare to disbelieve it completely. This was a complete lunatic. For the first time, she felt powerless and afraid. At the same time, Magic City. The Ash Cat bared its teeth. Bad guy. He still wanted to sell the cat. His senses actually penetrated the barrier of the source world. How terrifying. The liar was crazy. He really wanted to sell the cat. Bad guy, I'll stab you to death. Don't sell the cat. The ash cat was panting with rage. The liar had no conscience. In the next moment, in the cat world, Fong Ping chuckled. Don't be angry. If I die, you won't live for long. Really, in this 3 realms, there are too many people scheming against you. If I die, you can accompany me. Be my companion. Maybe the road to hell won't be lonely. If I'm not dead, then I won't sell you. Big cat, are you loyal? The ash cat mumbled, shattering Fong Ping's illusion. Big liar. Meow. Don't die. I don't want to die either. I want to eat, drink, and sleep well, the ash cat mumbled. I don't want to die. The big liar actually wanted me to be buried with him. I'm not willing to be buried with him. So, the liar should live. Mount Wangwu. Not long after Fong Ping left, Sage Yue returned. Venerable Green Lotus also returned. Both of them looked at the open boundary wall, then looked at Moon Spirit who was standing on the peak, deep in thought. They frowned slightly. At this time, Moon Spirit suddenly said, in this 3 realms, who is the scariest? Both of them were stunned. Yue said softly, Junior sister you, in this 3 realms, the human heart is the scariest. Moon Spirit murmured, saying softly, calculating all living beings. You can't calculate the human heart. A lunatic is scary, but a sober lunatic is even scarier. A lunatic who is extremely sober and rational is even scarier. Fong Ping. He's this kind of person. You think he doesn't know, but he knows everything. You think he doesn't know, but he doesn't need to know. From the beginning, he was prepared to overturn everything. Yet, someone couldn't see through him, giving him time to grow. Sigh. With a sigh, Moon Spirit's emotions were complicated. She said softly, tell the other seniors not to return. Let them continue to stay overseas. In a few days, Mount Wangwu will move overseas. Junior sister, this, Yue frowned. This was not what she said before. I'm not afraid of Hongyu. I'm not afraid of Li Zhu. Moon Spirit said coldly, if they have the guts, they can force me to leave. I'll do my best and lead the North Emperor to fight them. Wangwu is mine. What can I do if I don't leave? Both of them were stunned. Why did she want to leave now? Moon Spirit did not say anything. The Southern Territories still had humans. She dared to lead the North Emperor to fight with all her might, but there were too many lunatics on the human side. They dared too. They really dared. At this time, it was better to move. There was no need to fight for a moment's pride. Moon Spirit thought about it and suddenly laughed. Celestial Polarity is afraid of Fong Ping. He said that these people are the real lunatics. He's not. Now that I think about it, Celestial Polarity has a good eye. She suddenly admired Celestial Polarity. He did not talk to Fong Ping at all. He ran when he saw him. A heavenly king powerhouse, a descendant of an emperor, had lost all face. But thinking about it, Celestial Polarity was really too wise. Moon Spirit laughed. Also, just Fong Ping's words about giving all his bones to her were not something a normal person would say. You don't deserve to be a human king. Moon Spirit's ravings were not worthy. You should be a human devil, a real human devil. It was not derogatory. In this era, a human devil might be better and more beneficial to humans. Human sovereigns, upright and majestic. Human devils were unscrupulous. Fong Ping was one. Moon Spirit disappeared. Yue and Venerable Emperor Green Lotus looked at each other, frowning. Moon Spirit, who was fearless in their eyes, seemed to be a little afraid of Fong Ping. What happened to Moon Spirit? Did Fong Ping come here? What did he say? Green Lotus said in a low voice, Fong Ping is a lunatic. I think he's getting crazier. Yue thought about it and nodded, agreeing with what she said. This time, she did not know what Fong Ping was going to do. Chapter 1242. Shanghai. Zhang Tao's expression was solemn. He looked at Fong Ping in front of him and said in a low voice, Are you going crazy again? Fong Ping, it's not easy for humans to be where they are now. If we're not careful, we'll be doomed. Have you really considered the consequences? Fong Ping's expression was calm. He sat on the chair and said calmly, I have. Time waits for no man. Fong Ping said solemnly, if you don't go crazy now, once the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors appear, you won't even have the chance to go crazy. You think the situation is good, but I'm filled with insecurity. The situation isn't as good as I imagined. Especially now, Hong Yu and Li Zhu are working together. I can't give them too much time. Yes, humans are becoming stronger, but don't forget, their old subordinates are recovering, and they are becoming stronger faster than us. Fong Ping raised his head and looked at Zhang Tao. He said calmly, that's why we have to weaken them. Keep weakening them. For the past 100 years, we've been weakening them. There's no reason to stop now. But have you ever thought about it? Zhang Tao said in a low voice. We've finally won a period of respite. Everyone is tired. At this time, we are also developing rapidly. If something happens now, if you die, if I die, what will happen to the humans? Their voices echoed in the conference room, and no one else dared to make a sound. This time, the human king and the martial king clashed. Fong Ping wanted to take the risk. Zhang Tao wanted to slow down and give everyone some time. Fong Ping looked at him and said in a low voice, it's useless no matter how loud you roar. You can't roar the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors to death. You can't roar those heavenly kings and saints to death. Reason does not lie in one's voice. Think about it, if we don't weaken the catacombs now, will the catacombs give up on the southern territory? Unless you decide to give up on the southern region and place the battlefield outside of Earth. It had been 100 years. Tens of millions of people had died in the past 100 years. These were the people from the Hua Nation who had died in the southern region. Even more people have died in the other 3 outlands. It's been so many years, and everything seems peaceful. Don't you know that? Close to 50 million people have died. Fong Ping said mockingly, natural disasters. You always use natural disasters as an excuse. Tens of thousands died in today's earthquake. Tens of thousands will die in tomorrow's tsunami. 50 million people will be wiped out just like that. Fong Ping humphed. There's no such thing as a war where no one dies. I know this principle. No one died in vain. Fong Ping growled in a low voice. We've lost the other 3 territories. Now even the southern territory is about to be lost. Tell me, who will avenge the 50 million people who died in the past 100 years? What exactly are they fighting in the outer realms for? To protect our country, Zhang Tao shouted, for the sake of fewer people dying. Now he had done it. Now, the catacombs won't dare to attack Earth anymore. This is the value of their deaths. Aren't you going to take revenge? I didn't say I won't take revenge, Zhang Tao said angrily, but I said wait a little longer. Fong Ping, you're too impatient, too impulsive. Now that the situation has improved a little, do you really want all those seniors to die in battle? I didn't say senior, Fong Ping said calmly. This time, I'm dealing with saints and heavenly kings. The ones participating in the battle are you and me. Of course, I can only represent myself, not you. Fong Ping paused, looking at Long Change and Lin Zi beside him. He said slowly, both of you are the main force of my plan this time. There is indeed danger. Of course, I don't think it's life-threatening. Of course, there are exceptions to everything. Once the war starts, anything can happen. Just like the Fontian clan, when they came out, they probably did not think that people would die. Therefore, it's not impossible for heavenly kings to die. After all, both of you are not humans. It was only by coincidence that we came to this side. If both of you have any ideas, you can say them. There's no need to worry about anything. It's not easy to live for tens of thousands of years. Even if both of you refuse, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Long Change and Lin Zi looked at each other, speechless for a while. Zhang Tao said in a low voice, both of you don't have to worry about us. Fong Ping's plan this time is indeed very risky. Li Zhu, Hong Yu, and Handprint will definitely take action. The 2 catacombs kings may advance to Heavenly King at any time. Also, we have to prevent the Divine Sect from interfering. Not only the Divine Sect, there are also many unexpected situations. celestial polarity, moon spirit, sea guardian, Wan, and those saints from the Emperor bloodline, especially the Emperor bloodline. Fong Ping has killed the powerhouses from the Emperor bloodline before. Zhang Tao exhaled and said, saints are not as good as heavenly kings. However, Senior Long Change has just achieved Dao. 3 saints are enough to stop Senior. 5 saints might even cause Senior to fall. Fong Ping curled his lips and said in a low voice, someone is looking down on Senior. Zhang Tao rolled his eyes at him. Long Change could not help but laugh. Fong Ping laughed. I was just joking. I didn't mean to provoke Senior. Fong Ping said, then added, yes, it's very dangerous. However, if the situation continues like this, it'll actually become more dangerous. Right now, the Divine Sect and the Catacombs have not joined forces. But honestly, old Zhang, think about it. If we really wait, among the 3 of us, who do you think has a higher probability of joining forces? Fong Ping continued, there's also junior martial arts. There aren't many powerhouses in junior martial arts now, but how many heavenly kings are there? For have broken 6, one has broken 8. Fong Ping frowned. I heard that there's still a group of true powerhouses in the heavenly cemetery. Old Zhang, when they come out, will you stop them? If we make a move now, can we stop them? Fong Ping shook his head. If we make a move now, I can't guarantee that I can stop them. However, I know that we're not familiar with junior martial arts. They are. Hong Yu and King Kuan are familiar with these people. They're inextricably linked. Anyway, if junior martial arts joins forces, humans will be ranked last because of a cat. As he spoke, Fong Ping patted the cat's head that popped out beside him. He laughed. Am I right? The cat looked innocent. Was it? It seems so. Fong Ping said again, we don't have many saints. They have too many saints. Speaking of saints, they're a heavenly king reserve. Any saint has the hope of becoming a heavenly king. Am I right? On our side, currently, Senior Gong Zhuanzi and Senior Timu are in the human world. These 2 are the only ones. I don't know what Feng Yun is thinking. I know that there's a powerhouse standing behind him. It should be an emperor. He might not be on our side. Fong Ping looked at Zhang Tao. That's why at this time in the same class, we're in a disadvantageous position. If we don't get rid of their saints now, 11 saints will become 11 heavenly kings. Even breaking 8 won't work. Zhang Tao paced back and forth, frowning. He was not afraid of fighting. It was just that the humans had finally had a few days of peace. Now Fong Ping was going to start a war that would engulf the 3 realms again. If anything happened to either him or Fong Ping, the problem would be very serious. Other things aside, if Fong Ping was dead, would the cat run away? He did not know. If the cat ran away, Lin Zi would definitely leave. Gong Zhuanzi would probably leave too. It was hard to say if he turned into a dragon. And if he died, Fong Ping and the Heavenly King were actually not that close. Fong Ping was also stubborn. In the end, it was very likely that he would fall out with the Heavenly King. Once that happened, it would be even more troublesome. That was why he kept saying that he was afraid of death. He did not dare to die. Fong Ping was the same. This time, Fong Ping's ambition was too big. He wanted to kill all the saints in the catacombs. That was a total of 11 saints. If they joined forces, they would be able to stop 2 or 3 heavenly kings. Especially the 2 catacombs kings. They were really just a little bit away from breaking 6. It could happen at any time. This was equivalent to fighting against 2 potential heavenly kings and 9 saints. And what Fong Ping meant was, he would do it alone. He was courting death. Even if he was courting death, he should not be courting death like this. After a while, Zhang Tao said, Changsheng, Seniors Long Huan and Lin Zi, let's talk. The minority follows the majority. Do you agree or disagree with Fong Ping's plan? All right, call Senior Timu too. This matter mainly involves saints and heavenly kings. It's not suitable for too many people to know about it for now. Just these people. Fong Ping looked around and laughed. All right, humans don't have a one-man rule. Since you said so, then we'll vote to decide. You have to be more stable. I want to solve the hidden danger in advance. I didn't say that you're wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong either. Let's see how everyone chooses. Zhang Tao humphed. Anyway, I don't agree with you being so impatient. What I mean is to wait a little longer. When I break 7, you'll also improve again. Fong Ping pursed his lips. You break 7? 3 months? 5 months? 1 year? Who knows when you'll break 7? How can I wait? You, Zhang Tao cursed in a low voice. I've only cultivated for 70 years. Isn't it fast enough now? 70 years. The daylilies are all cold. Long Bien and Lindsay did not utter a word. Were they discussing something important, or were they pretending to be 13? Fortunately, Fong Ping did not mention how many years he had cultivated, although this did not need to be said. Very soon, Tianmu arrived. At this moment, in the conference room, Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, Long Bien, Lindsay, Gong Zhuanzi, Tianmu, and Old Man Li, a total of 7 powerhouses were present. Zhang Tao said directly, Heavenly King Garrison can't come, but his opinion is to delay. Recently, he's been attacking more frequently. If he attacks more frequently, it'll easily lead to big changes. Having said that, he added, I agree. Delay, at least wait for one of us to break 7 first, or for Senior Gong Zhuanzi to achieve Heavenly King. Fong Ping smiled. I don't have to say it. I'm the one who proposed this plan. What do the other seniors think? Everyone looked at each other for a while. Old Man Li said slowly, Fong Ping, since you want to do it, then I'll support you, but if it doesn't work, then give up on the southern region. Don't go and die. Fong Ping smiled at old Zhang, raising his eyebrows. See, the people of MCMAU are reliable. Zhang Tao glared at old man Li. Nonsense. No principles. Whatever Fong Ping said, Li Changsheng was an unprincipled and scrupulous parent who spoiled his children. Long Bien looked at Fong Ping, then at Zhang Tao, smiling bitterly. A heavenly king, owe Fong Ping a favor. Since Fong Ping said to restrain, then this time, this old man will support Fong Ping. Fong Ping chuckled. Lindsay said in a low voice, I don't think it's the right time to attack the catacombs now. The situation is not clear yet. It's not good to rashly start a war with the catacombs. Obviously, she meant to slow down. 3-3. At this moment, everyone looked at Tianmu and Gong Zhuanzi. Gong Zhuanzi thought for a while and said, Why don't? Wait. Recently, the Water Force fellow has been in closed-door cultivation and won't come out no matter what. When it comes out, I'll talk to it. Maybe I can achieve Heavenly King. Zhang Tao breathed a sigh of relief. For the 3, they were still more reasonable. At this time, Fong Ping looked at Tianmu, smiling. Old Mu, there's a monster plant in the catacombs called Sky Elm. It seems to have achieved Emperor level. If we kill Sky Elm, you can absorb its vitality. Maybe you can achieve Heavenly King. Tianmu smiled bitterly. Fong Ping continued. Li Zhu and Hong Yu are very cunning. They've cultivated an Emperor-level monster plant. I think they're very ambitious. The longer we wait, the more dangerous it will be for Old Mu. They'll also target Old Mu. Hearing that, Tianmu said, I support King Chun. 4-4. Seeing the situation, Zhang Tao said, since everyone has different opinions, let's put this plan aside for now. Fong Ping smiled. Don't be hasty. Who said there's a difference of opinion? Fong Ping rubbed Big Cat's head, smiling. Look, isn't there another one? Fong Ping looked at Big Cat with a grin. Big Cat looked confused. What? Why were they all looking at this cat? The corner of Zhang Tao's mouth twitched. You're telling me that you want to count this cat? Fong Ping chuckled. Old Zhang, are you looking down on cats? Senior Lindsay is with Big Cat. There's also the Spirit Emperor's bloodline. There's also the Heavenly Dog and the cat-protecting captain in the Heavenly Tomb. Big Cat is also very powerful. It represents a force. What? You don't count me as a cat? Fong Ping said indignantly. Big Cat, there are people looking down on you. They think that you have no status and don't deserve to give your opinion. Are you happy with that? Big Cat wanted to nod. I am happy. I don't care. But Fong Ping grabbed its head and started shaking it. Everyone's teeth hurt. Are you not embarrassed? How could you do this? Look, even Big Cat is unhappy. Fong Ping said bitterly. How much has Big Cat done for humanity? If it wasn't for Big Cat in the fake heavenly tomb, would it be where it is now? If it wasn't for Big Cat, humanity might have been wiped out. Now you don't even give me the right to speak. Fong Ping sighed. I don't have the right to speak now. In the future, when Big Cat eats and sleeps, won't I have to go through your opinions? How tragic. Big Cat, tell me, do you agree with my plan? Big Cat's face was blank. What should it say? Before it could say anything, Fong Ping patted its head. Big Cat nodded adorably. Fong Ping smiled. Big Cat agrees. All right, 5-4. It's settled. Zhang Tao's teeth hurt. He scolded in a low voice. Big Cat doesn't count. Big Cat, he's looking down on you. Fong Ping's eyes were unkind. Fake emperor didn't even become a true emperor. He's looking down on you. If he becomes a true emperor, he'll eat cat meat. Meow. Big Cat was very innocent. It looked at old Zhang, then at Fong Ping. After a while, it muttered, I support Big Liar. Everyone was speechless. Lindsay also frowned slightly and said softly, Big Cat, it's very dangerous. The king has to deal with 11 saints. This is not a matter of eating, drinking, and sleeping. If he's not careful, the king will be in trouble. She was afraid that Big Cat did not understand. Big Cat thought for a while and muttered, It'll be okay, right? If it was not okay, then should he call Big Dog and the rest back? As for the Sky Cemetery, Big Cat muttered in its heart, Forget it. Why did he support the liar? Because the liar had always been very powerful. He had never lost. Zhang Tao was speechless, but soon his eyes moved slightly. Big Cat was actually still a little special. Whether it was sensing or foresight, its perception of danger was still quite strong. Although it was muddle-headed, since it had supported Fong Ping, it did not mean that it would agree carelessly. After thinking for a while, Zhang Tao said, How about this? I'll deal with those saints. You and Senior Dragon Transformation will join forces to restrain those heavenly kings. Dealing with heavenly kings was more dangerous, but the premise was that there was only one saint. 11 saints. That was called dangerous. Fong Ping laughed. You? It's not that I'm looking down on you, but how are you going to deal with a saint? Can you kill a saint? Do you have any tricks that you're good at? Borrowing the strength of the humans to break 7 and kill a saint? Fong Ping laughed. Your physique is not good. Your mentality was not weak before, but now it's just average. If you want weapons, there aren't any good ones. If you want combat techniques, they're just SOSO. Your strength control might not even be as high as mine now. Fong Ping sneered. You want to deal with a saint? You can grind 1 or 2 to death. But how are you going to deal with so many of them? I have more tricks than you, so you'd better not mess things up. The humans are actually very strong. It's just the catacombs alone, so we're not afraid of them. Actually, I'm still worried that other forces will make a move and cause accidents in the plan. That's why I contacted all parties and cooperated. Fong Ping laughed. Actually, I've already arranged everything. I've considered all parties, including those heavenly kings whose attitudes are unclear. I've also made arrangements. In the past 3 years, I've also participated in hundreds of battles, big and small. I'm not that impulsive. I'm confident. Moreover, once I get the Heavenly King seal and the Saint's token, my strength will improve again. Once I get 6 Saint's tokens and a Heavenly King seal, my confidence will be greater. Fong Ping laughed. Don't worry. As for you, you just need to restrain Li Zhu. If you can't do it yourself, bring along the God Creations clone. It should be enough. Zhang Tao was a little awkward. He scolded in a low voice. Are you looking down on me? Yes, that's right. Fong Ping nodded, looking calm. You haven't even broken 7. Of course, I don't think you're too strong. You... Zhang Tao was furious. Kid, you haven't even broken 7. You're already looking down on me. Do you want to fight? Fong Ping could not be bothered with him. He laughed. That's it. Create an illusion for the catacombs. We want to kill their emperor level. Similarly, mislead the divine sect. Let them feel that we're only launching a battle below emperor level. Let the Wuan Army, the National Garrison Army, the MCMU Army all enter the southern region battlefield and launch an all-out attack. In addition, Dispatch powerhouses from the 6 holy lands to the southern region to participate in the war. Swear to protect the southern region with their lives. Let the catacombs see our determination. Let them know that we don't want to launch a war between high-end, top-notch powerhouses now. In addition, send messengers to the divine sect and the various emperors to persuade them. Fong Ping chuckled. Whether it's useful or not, they'll more or less hesitate. Of course, this mission is a little dangerous. However, things like killing messengers will not happen under normal circumstances. Let Jiao, Cat Tree, and the others be the messengers. These fellows are very cunning. I'll give them more imperishable substances and origin chi. It won't be too dangerous for them to make a trip. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping said, at a critical moment, maybe we can use King Huai as a chess piece. This fellow almost ambushed and killed Blade Maniac last time. He's not weak. He's pretending like he's real. Maybe he'll be very useful. He's very cunning. He might not make a move. Fong Ping laughed. Birds die for food. He killed Blade Maniac for a reason. Didn't he want my origin chi? I'll give it to him. Not only will I give him origin chi, but I'll also give some more things this time. Previously, I killed a few novice martial saints and got a few weapons. I'll give him one. Fong Ping grinned. As long as he's careful and fast enough, he might not be exposed even if he kills all those who know. This fellow will be willing to do it. In the Celestial Court, who cares about him? What benefits can he get? Of course, it'll be best if he succeeds. It's okay if he fails. Whether he dies or not, it'll depend on his luck. Fong Ping arranged the mission again. At this time, the cat looked at Fong Ping and asked confusedly, "Then what do I do?" "You?" Fong Ping looked at its fat body. He thought for a while and smiled. "Of course you have a mission. It's a very difficult mission. Lose some weight and run more. This time, you're a part of my plan, a very important part. You're also my backup. If there are any accidents or changes, I'll depend on you. Don't drop the ball. Otherwise, I'll be dead." The cat's eyes widened. "So important? I can also do big things." As they chatted, Lindsay looked at the cat in surprise. Even the cat had learned to take the initiative to ask for missions. She had never seen this lazy cat so attentive before. Very soon, the others dispersed. Fong Ping and old Zhang remained in the conference room. Zhang Tao said in a low voice, "Fong Ping, why are you in such a hurry?" Fong Ping said calmly, "If you don't use your power, it'll be invalid in the future. I'm afraid that one day, or very soon, someone will return. Once they return, Heavenly King subduing, Lindsay, Dragon Transformation, Wind, and Cloud. These people will no longer be our people. Old Zhang, wake up. Right now, they're also forced to find a force to stay. Think about it. If the Divine Emperor, Spirit Emperor, and Heavenly King, Subduing's Master come back one after another, who do you think they'll choose?" Zhang Tao's expression changed. Fong Ping chuckled. "I'm not trying to kill them. I just want to take advantage of the fact that they're still on our side to let them contribute and help us humans close the gap." "Old Zhang, how do you think we should wait? When they have a place to belong, will they leave? When that time comes, it's hard to say whether they'll be friends or foes. That's why I'm too anxious. When I think of them leaving, becoming enemies, and killing our human powerhouses, how do we stop them?" Fong Ping's voice became deeper. "That's why we have to take advantage of this. This is the perfect timing. Weaken the enemy's strength and strengthen the human race's strength. You can call me a villain or radical, but that's what I think. I don't want them to just bear the name of a human powerhouse. This empty reputation is useless to us. I want to see the tangible benefits. I want to see their determination to advance and retreat together with the human race. Of course, those who are willing to help the human race today, the human race will repay them one by one. This is cooperation, isn't it?" Zhang Tao exhaled. He thought for a while and said, "You're right. Actually, I've thought about this problem too. But some things won't change because of our words and ideas. We can only go with their own ideas. That's why I want to be selfish for once. I'll take advantage of this time and use them." Fong Ping's voice became deeper. "You and I, are the real leaders of new martial arts. It's not that I want to make a clear distinction. It's that we have to. I'm afraid. You know what I'm afraid of? Old Zhang nodded. He understood. He had also worried about what Fong Ping was worried about. Patting Fong Ping's shoulder, Zhang Tao sighed softly. It's right to be worried, but I still have to remind you. Remember, under the circumstances where they don't show any signs of becoming enemies with the human race, you're not allowed to plot against them. You have to know that even if the human race is a devil, they will still repay kindness and hatred. You're not allowed to leave them in the lurch. If Li Chongqing and the others are in danger, we'll follow the principle of proximity. Who to save depends on the distance and the timing. You're not allowed to abandon the near to save the far away. Fong Ping, the human race has come this far not only because of martial strength. The leader of the human race is also not only based on martial strength. Do you understand? Fong Ping grinned. Understood. Don't worry. I haven't reached that point yet. That's hard to say. Zhang Tao snorted softly. You're still young. When it comes to being ruthless, you might not be worse than anyone. That's good too. The human race in this era needs your ruthlessness. After all, I've polished myself for decades. I've lost some of my sharpness. Zhang Tao paused for a moment before continuing. Li Jun is about to break through to saint level. Li Jun is Li Jun. The Sky Garrison King is the Sky Garrison King. Li Jun and I have worked together for decades. I understand him. Don't think about other things. You can leave your back to him. Do you understand? Understood. Fong Ping laughed. A big iron-headed fool can still be trusted. Zhang Tao glared at him. Unruly. After glaring, he thought for a while and added, he's not an iron-headed fool. He's a pure iron-headed fool. Both of them looked at each other and burst out laughing. At the same time, in Stellar Sky City, Li Jun, who was still in closed-door cultivation, sneezed crazily. He could not help but curse Zhang Tao, that bastard. He's definitely talking bad about me. He was almost a saint-level person, yet he could still sneeze. What bad things did Zhang Tao say about him? Chapter 1243. New Heavenly Court. Heavenly Palace. Report! An armored martial artist rushed into the main hall, crouched on the ground, and reporting to the Second Lord, the human powerhouses have made a move. The Heavenly Swordsman has entered Misery through Black Brightness Palace and is heading south. He seems to be targeting the Divine Island. The Azure Emperor has gone to Mount Royal Sea and contacted the Demon Swordsman, the Demon King. The 6 sacred lands have sent powerhouses. They seem to be heading to Calming Sea Prefecture, Chaos Island, Ultimate Path Sky Island, Water Force Divine Island. The powerhouses crouched on the ground quickly reported the humans' movements. You're dismissed. Li Zhu responded blandly. Soon, the expert who came to report quickly left. Once they left, Li Zhu said softly, once Fong Ping comes out of seclusion, he won't be willing to be left out. He's this kind of person. He uses war to fight. The war in the southern region will break out soon. Then, Li Zhu added, Fong Ping likes to control the situation and take the initiative in the war. This time, we can't continue following Fong Ping's wishes. Hong Yu nodded lightly and sighed. Fong Ping. Fong Ping is very troublesome. Recently, I've been wandering the origin to search for him. I haven't been able to find him. We need to be more careful. Powerhouses like them might not be able to roam the origin, but they could control many origin stars and roam the origin universe. He had tried to find Fong Ping a few times, even to destroy him in the origin, but he could not find any connection with Fong Ping. Of course, this was expected. It was difficult to find origin stars. However, it would be easier with the help of divine weapons. Back then, Song Mao had used a broken steel from the Sky Destroyer Emperor to locate the Life King's origin star. Actually, Hong Yu had used a similar method, but he still could not discover Fong Ping's star source. Because of this, he felt a little uneasy. Fong Ping was more secretive than before. As Hong Yu spoke, he looked at the crowd below and said slowly, everyone knows Fong Ping's intentions. He uses war to fight, weaken the Heavenly Court's strength, and win the Southern Region War. Other than that, he must have his eyes on the Heavenly King's seal and Saint token. Li Zhu nodded. That's right. If Fong Ping only wanted to win the Emperor-level war, he wouldn't have to spend so much effort. As expected, his target is the Sky Sword. The Heavenly Sword Saint was not present at the moment. He was still fighting against Shun Haoyin and the other two emperors with the Heavenly King's seal. Tian Su was here. Hearing that, he said in a low voice, Lord Li, if that's the case, wouldn't Sky Sword be in danger? The human king was extremely powerful. Back when he was trying to prove his Tao, he had already killed Tian Gui. His speed was extremely fast. If we were to ambush Sky Sword now, I'm afraid Sky Sword won't be able to withstand it. Of course. Li Zhu nodded and said, Fong Ping is scarier than ordinary heavenly kings. During the battle at Spirit Emperor Dojo, under Fong Ping's outburst, the divine sect's three great sect masters, Tian Li and Tian Hui, were swiftly killed by him on the spot. Tian Bai escaped thousands of miles away. When Qing Tong, Yu Long, and when Xian met Fong Ping, it was as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Even when the three of them joined forces, they didn't dare to fight Fong Ping. Hong Yu also shook his head. Fong Ping has a divine weapon in his hands and a lot of holy weapons. The Saint's token and the Heavenly King's seal suppress Origin. He can even break through Origin. His Origin Chi is limitless, his combat techniques are not weak, and his golden body is strong. Fong Ping like this. Once he surpasses his opponent and faces his opponent, it's almost a one-sided slaughter. As he said that, Hong Yu felt a little helpless. It was not that easy for an ordinary Broken Six Heavenly King to kill a saint. Although those Heavenly Kings were powerful, their weapons, combat techniques, and tactics might not have improved by much. If the saints could not defeat them, there was still hope for them to escape. The most terrifying thing about Fong Ping was that he could restrain his aura, break through Origin, and sever Tao. The saints were not as powerful as him. If he severed their Tao, they would definitely die if they stagnated for even a moment. Although it was a little discouraging, Hong Yu still recognized reality and said, if the three saints face Fong Ping, they will all face the risk of dying. If the five saints join forces, they can only be on par with the enemy. If the three saints join forces, they will not face the risk of dying when they face King Wu. King Wu could win, but if the three saints joined forces, it would be difficult for King Wu to kill one of them. This was their evaluation of Fong Ping. On the human side, Heavenly King Jin was the strongest, Lin Zi second, King Wu third, Fong Ping fourth, Dragon Transformation fifth. This was strength and realm. It was comparable to crushing a saint. Heavenly King Jun was first, Fong Ping second. Li Zhu tilted his head and looked at Hong Yu. We can't let the humans have too much time to prepare. Fong Ping has a silver tongue. After a long time, there might be hope of shaking the divine sect and the powerhouses from all sides. Try to avoid the battle between the Heavenly Kings, but we must take down the southern region. We must also make the humans suffer some losses. Let Fong Ping understand that the rebuilding of the Heavenly Court is inevitable. It is not something he can stop alone. Yes, Hong Yu responded and said, Qing Mo, go to Weiyu Mountain and cooperate with Tianming. Order Weiyu Mountain to evacuate today. Yes, sir. Qing Mo stood up and responded. He walked down the high platform and quickly walked out of the main hall to carry out Hong Yu's order. Governor, Hong Yu looked at the governor. Lead the Heavenly Court army and advance toward Mount Royal Sea. Command the army to fight. If the Demon King and Demon Swordsman dare to interfere, they will not be spared. Yes, sir. The governor stood up and left immediately. Hong Yu continued. Hai Yu, go to Misery Sea and lead the demons in the sea to guard the sea and stop the human reinforcements. Yes, sir. Hai Yu accepted the order and left quickly. Hong Yu gave the order one by one. Very soon, the powerhouses from all sides dispersed, each having their own tasks. In the end, Li Zhu asked softly, how should we deal with Celestial Sword? Fong Ping's ambition is Celestial Sword, but he will not be careless. You and I are both his targets, including the Weapon Master and the Palm Seal Master. Li Zhu nodded. Hong Yu continued, but Fong Ping has to be on guard. Celestial Sword is in charge of 1 seal and 6 orders. He cannot lose it. He can borrow Celestial Sword's power to set up a death trap. Let's see if he can kill Fong Ping and get rid of this threat. It's difficult. It's both difficult and easy. It depends on Fong Ping's skills. Hong Yu laughed. Now, we both know that the heavenly kings and saints are holding each other back. It depends on who has more skills and a stronger foundation. Only then can we win. After all, Fong Ping is still young. I have never underestimated Fong Ping, but his foundation is still too shallow. That's true. Li Zhu laughed. Then the Wang Wu, if we can persuade Moon's spirit. I'm afraid that's impossible. Hong Yu smiled bitterly. I'll go to the Wang Wu today. I'll settle the Wang Wu's matter. All right then. Go, and return quickly. The Heavenly King still needs you to intimidate. All right. Hong Yu did not say anything else. The Wang Wu's matter could not be delayed. Moreover, the southern region would be the center of the war soon. It would be best if the Wang Wu was not involved. Overseas, on a gigantic island. The island was originally a fragment of the heavenly realm. A few top-notch powerhouses moved this fragment from the space rift and rebuilt the Divine Church mainland. The previous Divine Church's spirit meridians were broken. Due to Heavenly Hound and Sherpo's schemes, it had long become a wasteland. At this moment, in the center of the mainland, in the temple, King Kun laughed heartily. That younger brother of mine rebuilt the heavenly court. He has ambition, but he is also unlucky. The current fragment of the heavenly realm is adjacent to the human race. Fong Ping and Zhang Tao are the kind of people who do not allow others to sleep soundly next to them. That is also a battlefield. The human race and the fake heavenly court will definitely go to war. King Qian smiled. This is a good thing. The Divine Church has a foothold overseas. Now, what we need to do is to conquer all the islands overseas. Also, the Water Divine Path has been shrouded by the Aurora recently. Why don't we take this opportunity to invade the Water Divine Island? King Kun pressed his hands together and rejected. No, at least not now. Fong Ping is a vengeful person. If we invade the Water Divine Island now, he might choose to give up on fighting the fake heavenly court and target us instead. Wait for them to fight the fake heavenly court, and then we will plot against the Water Divine Island. As he spoke, a true god entered the temple and reported that Sky Jiao was here. King Kun laughed. Sky Jiao, the descendant of that dog? Should be him. King Kun laughed. He thought for a while and said, Fong Ping wants to stabilize us. Let's satisfy him. If we are not stable, he won't dare to fight Hong Yu and the rest. Tianbai, go and meet Sky Jiao. Letting a saint meet Sky Jiao was already giving him face. As for him, King Qian and King Jin, Sky Jiao was not qualified for them to receive him personally. After Tianbai left, King Qian said, Looks like a war is about to break out. Fong Ping is determined to destroy the southern region and get the Heavenly King seals and saint tokens. King Qian's face darkened. He has already gotten 4 Heavenly King seals. Mine and King Jin's Heavenly King seals are also in his hands. It's fine. King Kun smiled. The King Kun seal is in my hands. If Fong Ping can't get it, he won't be able to gather the 9 Emperor seals. As for Sky Chief, he disappeared with a few saints. Do you think Sky Chief will make a move this time? It's hard to say. King Qian thought for a while and said, He might. Sky Sword has 1 seal and 6 tokens, while Fong Ping has 4 seals and 20 saint tokens. Now, most of the Heavenly King seals and saint tokens are with these 2 parties. On Sky Chief's side, he also has the 9 Emperor seal and 2 saint tokens. The 3 parties will definitely clash. The 3 parties controlled 34 out of the 45 saint tokens. It could be said that most of the saint tokens and Sky Chief seals were in their hands. This did not exclude the possibility that Sky Chief had found a few revived saints. If he found them, there would be more saint tokens. He, who had the Master Seal, would definitely have some ideas. Then we'll sit back and watch. King Kun smiled. We'll closely monitor every move of the land realm and the human realm. When the time is right, we might make a move. King Qian and King Zhen laughed. That was inevitable. Once there was a chance, the people in hiding would make a move. Killing their opponents and seizing the Heavenly King seals and saint tokens, including some divine weapons, were their goals. At the same time, a desolate ancient world, broken, desolate, and declining. A dilapidated palace stood on the ground. Even though it was dilapidated, it could not hide its former grandeur. It spread for countless miles. In the past, this place was also a pilgrimage site. West Royal Palace, one of the 9 emperors, the dojo of the West Emperor. The Heaven Realm collapsed, and the Western Imperial Palace fell. On that day, the Celestial Pole was in the Western Imperial Palace. He watched helplessly as his fellow disciples were killed, and the palace was destroyed by the giant hand that covered the sky. He hid in the divine prohibition left by his father emperor, and only then did he escape the calamity. All these years, he stayed in the West Royal Palace for a very long time. It was not until he successfully became a heavenly king and entered the fake sky grave that he truly walked out of the West Royal Palace and returned to the 3 realms. At this moment in the West Royal Palace, with more people from the West Royal Palace returned, including the subordinates of the 7 luminaries Maui Heaven. They all moved into the West Royal Palace. This caused this dilapidated sacred ground to recover once again. West Royal Palace. Hong Yu was looking at the chessboard his father left behind. Someone behind him said softly, "Prince Sheng Nan." He was the only saint in the West Royal Palace who had recovered. When the heavenly court was rebuilt, they had to move the 7 luminaries Maui Heaven and go overseas. Sheng Nan was happy that Sky Chief returned, but there was also a headache. Ever since Prince returned, he brought them to the West Royal Palace and never went out. That couldn't happen. Now that the 3 realms had changed, it was an opportunity, a fortuitous encounter. Many experts would appear and prove their Tao in this era. If Prince didn't go out, how would the West Royal Palace rise again? Cultivating bitterly was not going to work. "What's the matter?" Sky Chief stared at the chessboard and asked. He immediately said, "Sheng Nan, do you think there's a deeper meaning to this chessboard that my father left behind?" Prince, Sheng Nan wanted to say that he didn't. "You're thinking too much." But she was afraid that Prince wouldn't be able to handle the provocation. She said helplessly, "Your Highness, the outside world is in chaos." "Oh!" There was nothing else after the "oh." Sheng Nan was distressed. The lineages that didn't have a heavenly king returning were already fighting. "You're a heavenly king. Can you not be such a homebody?" "Your Highness, the human world and the land realm are going to war. The divine sect and other parties are watching in secret. They're fighting again?" Sky Chief was speechless. He turned around and said, "Who is Fong Ping going to fight this time? Li Zhu and the rest?" "Yes. He's not easy to deal with." Sky Chief shook his head. "I knew it a long time ago. Don't think about taking advantage of him. This kid is very strange and cunning. I think the situation will be stirred up again. I'm afraid the sky will change again. Watch the entrance to the West Royal Palace. If Fong Ping comes, close the door and let the dogs out." "Forget it. Don't let the dogs out. Just close the door." "Your Highness." Sheng Nan was distressed. Now 7 luminaries and the rest are eager to participate in the war. This is an opportunity. Once the war starts, some will fall, but there will also be people to prove. Sky Chief frowned. "Go and die?" 7 luminaries is only at Emperor rank. Isn't joining the war courting death? So what everyone means is, since the prince is here. "What? Are you asking me to die?" Sheng Nan was close to tears. "You're a heavenly king. How can you die so easily? You haven't even gone out yet, and you already think you're going to die. If this goes on, will the West Royal Palace really sit here and wait for the World War to end? I hope someone will return. I hope the few senior brothers from back then can break through to Heavenly King. I hope." Sheng Nan had countless thoughts in his mind. This could not go on. Sky Chief seemed to have guessed that he was silently criticizing him. He said impatiently, "Idiot. Is it so easy to get involved in this? Is Fong Ping going to attack the emperor ranks of the land realm now?" "It should be," Sky Chief humphed. "It looks like a battle below emperor rank. If I'm not mistaken, the saints will definitely take action. In the end, the heavenly kings will also take action. Then, the heavenly kings of the three realms will all be involved in the war. Then, the saints will fall, the heavenly kings will fall. Your Highness, what this? Sky Chief was indifferent. I won't be wrong. Everyone says to restrain, wait. But the point is, if a heavenly king who doesn't follow the rules intervenes, can we really follow the rules? When the war is in the mood, we can say, kill the heavenly kings today. Great. Li Zhu's side is all broken 7. No one might die. I've only broken 6. Once I get involved, the heavenly king that gets slaughtered will be me. Sky Chief humphed. If I'm not here, King Jin might be the unlucky one in the end. You think you're an outsider? Wrong. We're all in the game. King Jin hasn't broken 7. He's the easiest to kill. Who else should we kill if not him? But if I go out, the unlucky one will most likely be me. Why should I get involved? Shengnan was dumbfounded. Stop joking. How is that possible? But what the prince said, why did it sound so reasonable? Then, close the door and cultivate. Sky Chief didn't even want to watch the show. You guys can fight however you want. If you kill all of them, I'll be the strongest. It won't be too late for me to go out. In the three realms, being strong in cultivation doesn't mean you're strong. You're the strongest when your opponent dies. Look, the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors were the strongest in the past. What about now? They're gone. They're gone. Those who have endured for a long time have all become strong. I want to endure too. It's best if I survive this calamity. Countless people have died. After the calamity ends, I'll be the strongest. When all the heavenly kings die, I'll be invincible. I won't be weaker than an Emperor Realm expert. I won't even need to cultivate to the Emperor Realm. But no buts. After the war ends, you'll all be grateful to me. Sky Chief snorted. If you want to die, then go out yourself. I won't send you off. If you go out, I'll close the door and move the West Emperor Dojo. All of you can roam the three realms on your own. Shengnan was speechless. Was the prince going to stay a hermit until the end of time? Although he was mentally exhausted, Shengnan continued. Then I'll seal the passageway. Your Highness, are you really not considering? Noisy. But when the calamity comes, it's almost impossible to avoid it. We still have to wait. Sky Chief said calmly. Wait until Fong Ping dies. If Fong Ping doesn't die and has the strength to break through, I'll bring you to the human world to eat and drink. If Fong Ping dies, then find the strongest force to rely on first. But with the Emperor Realm, Sheng Nan was unwilling. They were the disciples and descendants of West Emperor. How could they rely on others? Sky Chief was impatient. What do you want? I'm only at Breakthrough 6. Do I have to fight with someone who's at Breakthrough 8? Do I have a death wish? The heavenly kings who haven't appeared yet. I don't know if King Can and King Dui can be revived. I don't know if the top few heavenly kings of the 36 saints have appeared. Besides, there should be heavenly kings in the Emperor Realm. Their eldest senior brother might have reached the heavenly king realm. Are there any other heavenly kings in the other bloodlines, including us? If not, how are we going to fight others? Eldest senior brother might not have broken through. He was just one step away. Sheng Nan was talking about West Emperor's first disciple. These emperors also had direct disciples. Their first disciples were usually the strongest ones. Earthly Emperor cultivated 2 sons. Spirit Emperor cultivated Cat and Lin Zi. Emperor Renhuang and Emperor God also had first disciples. West Emperor's first disciple was just one step away from becoming a heavenly king. Now, Sheng Nan could only hope that her eldest senior brother would recover, that a heavenly king of Tao corroboration would recover. It might not be hopeless. Back then, these people had gone through a catastrophe. They were bound to have good fortune after surviving a catastrophe. Now that they had succeeded, it was not an exaggeration. Sky Chief snorted. So what if he's a heavenly king? He broke 6 at most. He's not even as strong as me. If he comes out and can't see the situation clearly, he's also looking for death. Fighting Heaven, on the other hand, broke 6. He died so miserably. This an old antique like King Sun was killed when he almost broke 7. What else do you want? Sky Chief said impatiently. Step down. Instead of placing your hopes on others, why don't you break through to the Heavenly King realm yourself? When that guy breaks through to the Heavenly King realm, one sect with 3 Heavenly Kings will still have a fighting chance. Otherwise, wait obediently for Imperial Father's return. Shengnan sighed. Without saying anything more, he turned and left. After he left, Empyrean also sighed while facing the chessboard. Imperial Father, where the hell are you? In the 3 realms, even Heavenly Kings are not safe. Come back early. If you don't come back and you come back, even the Emperor is not safe. Sky Chief shook his head. Were the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors asleep or holding it in? Come back as soon as possible. Otherwise, Sky Chief, forget it. Suppressing Heavenly King, Fong Ping, King Wu, Hongyu Li Zhu, King Kun. They all had hope of becoming emperors. Don't doubt it. Sky Chief felt that it was not impossible. Including Fong, these people had actually walked their own unique paths. Those who could break 8 were all extraordinary figures. They were often only 1 step away from the Emperor realm. Don't wait for the old man to come back. He would be stunned. He had become an emperor. When the old emperor returned, bang, he was beaten to death. That was desolate. The scene was too beautiful. Sky Chief did not want to think about it anymore. He muttered for a while again. It was better for Father to come back early. Otherwise, a scene that was too beautiful might really happen. The more he thought about it, the scarier it became. The 3 realms were in turmoil. After a few days of peace, there was an oppressive feeling of impending disaster pressing down on everyone in the 3 realms. The war was endless. In the Southern Territory, there were bloody battles. There were victories and defeats. On the human side, batches of troops set off. One powerhouse after another rushed to the catacombs. Some died in battle, some broke through. Earth was still relatively stable. However, the people also saw the tragedy of the war. Batches of powerhouses' corpses were transported back. Some died without a complete corpse, not even a corpse. Low ranks had their own battlefields. Middle ranks had their own battlefields. Both sides were training their troops. The battles below the pinnacle seemed useless. However, powerhouses were raised from the weak. Before the final war broke out, both sides were accumulating strength and cultivating more powerhouses. On May 22nd, MCMU Zhao Xuemei killed a rank 9 in the catacombs and advanced to rank 9. This was the first powerhouse among the new generation to advance to rank 9, excluding Fong Ping and the others. It caused a sensation all over the world. Zhao Xuemei, an MCMU student with an extremely poor aptitude in the past, had reached the bone-honing realm once. But now, she had become the first female martial artist to achieve rank 9 in the new generation of mankind, except for a few monsters. Immediately after, there were people who advanced one after another. Chen Yunxi and Ji Yao. No one knew how long they had been fighting. She had also advanced to rank 9. MCMU Tang Feng, Lu Fengru. As these people were close to the human race, they had also advanced to rank 9 and stepped into the origin. The human race's strength had entered a blowout period. Among the older generation powerhouses, Fang Yu, Li Daong, Xie Yilin, Zhong Qinghuan. These rank 9 martial artists had also improved rapidly. After Su Yunfei achieved the pinnacle, no one in the human race had achieved the pinnacle. However, with the rapid improvement of the rank 9 powerhouses, it would not be long. At this time, there was news that Star Town's Jiang Chao had advanced to rank 9 after a nap. Fong Ping almost rushed to Star Town personally to beat that guy to death. This kind of misleading news should not be spread. This guy had a good ancestor and also a fairly good brother. Warlord and Jiang Hao left, but they also left him a lot of good stuff. This guy had actually advanced to rank 9. It was unexpected, but reasonable. However, this situation was very special. Fong Ping did not want the news to leak. In a fit of anger, he strictly ordered Star Town not to spread any news about Jiang Chao. Let this guy wait for death. Fong Ping even thought of arranging for this guy to carry the cat's sh*t. Unfortunately, that big cat did not poop. There was a lot of good news, but there was also bad news. There were people who advanced, and naturally, there were people who died in battle. Fong Ping saw a few familiar faces on the sacrifice list. For a moment, he was a little absent-minded, feeling indescribably lonely. Suppressing everything in his heart, Fong Ping walked out of Sky Island. The war was still going on. He would leave his sorrow for the future. This time, let him fight with the heavenly king of the three realms. P.S. In order not to stop updating in the middle of the battle, I will update twice today. Doghead, save me. Chapter 1244. A storm is coming. In the region of Mount Royal Sea, King Huai sighed softly. How many days had it been peaceful? In the past few days, the heavenly courts had been mobilizing troops, and the human race was also constantly moving. A huge battle was probably going to break out in the southern region. As a member of the heavenly court, he was also sent to the front lines. A true god expert was still an expert. He could still suppress everything. At least in the outer region battlefield, a true god was still the top fighting power. At this moment, almost none of the great emperors made a move. Ji Hong, who also came to the side to oversee the situation, said softly, "The Great War is about to start again. The sovereign personages are working everywhere." As he spoke, a loud boom rang out. In the next moment, a gigantic island rose into the sky. The Qing Tong of Weiyu Mountain had transformed into an ancient giant. At this moment, he was actually carrying the huge island and moving towards the Sea of Bitterness. Below, the true God realm experts were also stabilizing the island. The land of domain. The Weiyu Mountain, along with the domain, was going to be moved away. At this moment, everyone was stirring. Southern region, Xuanda Paradise. Sovereign Xian Ji broke through the air, his eyes complicated. His voice traveled thousands of miles as he said in a complicated tone, "Qing Tong, you're leaving?" That was the leader of the southern faction. The Xuanda Grotto Heaven was considered as the northern sect back then, and it cultivated the Tao of the body. Of the 108 blessed and heavenly lands, only 3 of them were left. Now, the leader of the southern faction, Wei Yushan, was about to leave. The era of sex had truly fallen. The pride of the era of sex, the Devil Emperor, had fallen, and now there were fewer and fewer domains. Xianji's mood was also extremely complicated. In the distance, Sage Qing Tong was holding a huge island in his hand. He tilted his head and looked in the direction of the island. He said loudly, "Xianji, the world has changed. The era of the sex has completely fallen. From today onwards, there will be no more Weiyu Mountain." The royal residence of the northern faction was no longer the royal residence, but the bloodline of the northern emperor. Xianji, it's time for the Xuanda Paradise to come to an end. He was going to rely on the divine emperor's bloodline. Mount Wangwu was no longer Mount Wangwu, but the North Emperor's lineage's Bottomanda. The 108 blessed grotto heavens were really going to disappear completely. There was only one left, the Xuanda Grotto Heaven. Xianji's expression became even more complicated. He was not the only one. At this moment, many people had mixed feelings. After the fall of the earthly emperor dynasty, the sects rose. However, the rise of the sects didn't last long. They rose and fell because of the demon emperor. After the war between the North and South, the sects had completely declined. And now, the sects had walked to the end. Qing Tong had already made up his mind the moment the demon emperor died. This was no longer their era. Time to go. He no longer wanted to stay in the land of 4 wars. No longer wanted to revive the sect, because this era had truly passed. Qing Tong's words made sovereign Xianji feel complicated. He was telling himself that if the Xuanda Grotto Heaven did not completely integrate into the human race, or if not, it had to find its own way out. The Xuanda Grotto Heaven was still maintaining a certain degree of independence. As a result, there was still some estrangement between them and the human race. The look in Sovereign Lord Xianji's eyes became more complicated. At this time, a loud and clear voice resounded in all directions. asking, "Moon Spirit, is the royal house moving or submitting to the heavenly court?" He wanted to ask how the leader of the northern faction would choose. The royal house is gone. At this moment, a cold voice came from the direction of Wang Wu Mountain. It was Seiji Wei, not Moon Spirit. The royal house was no longer a sect. It was the North Emperor Dojo. It was the Moon Spirit Heavenly King Dojo. It was no longer the leader of the northern faction in the past. Xianji laughed bitterly, feeling a little disappointed. The sect really did not exist anymore. The leaders of the northern and southern factions had already made a decision. The mystic virtue realm should disappear in the long river of history, and he might be the last sect master of the sect world. Master. The few true gods looked at Xianji with complicated expressions. Today, the sect had completely come to an end. The royal house and the Weiyu faction were no longer sections. How would the mystic virtue realm continue? Xianji sighed and said softly, "After this battle, the Xuanda Grotto heaven will be dissolved. Everyone will find their own way out, enter the 4 factions and 4 palaces, enter the human world to seek the Tao, and join the various armies. I will no longer be the sect master." It was time to disperse. Now, the people of the Xuanda Grotto heaven were still in the Xuanda Grotto heaven. As a result, they had not integrated with the human race, and there was still a gap. The leaders of the human race were only the human kings, and his existence was very similar to Zhao Xingwu in the past, but more independent. This might not be what the human race wanted. Similarly, it was also not what he wanted. Turning back, looking at the martial artists in the Xuanda Grotto heaven, those disciples, Xianji's gaze became more and more complicated. Perhaps this old man doesn't care. But what about these disciples of mine? They were not so harmonious with the human race, and they were hostile to the catacombs. They had always been fighting alone. If this went on, there would be heavy casualties. In the end, how many could survive? There should be a result. Xianji did not send any more voice transmissions. He did not speak again. Today, the 108 blessed and heavenly grotto heaven were completely gone. The glory of the sect had come to an end. The era of the sect has completely become a legend. At this moment, many people were lamenting. Weiyu Mountain had moved away. Qing Tong had brought everyone from Weiyu Mountain to Medicine God Island to seek refuge with the Divine Emperor. Mount Wangwu seemed to be preparing to move too. In fact, not long after Weiyu Mountain moved, the Mount Wangwu area was shaking. Seiji Wei, Venerable Emperor Green Lotus, and these people also began to move the royal house, about to leave. This was also Moon Spirit's decision. Moon Spirit originally did not plan to leave, but when Fong Ping went to look for her that day, she made up her mind to leave. The rumbling sounds did not stop. At this moment, no one in the 3 realms made a sound. They were all watching silently as Mount Wangwu shook. Wangwu was moving away. The last fear on both sides was gone. Previously, the existence of Wangwu and Weiyu had posed a certain threat to humans and the catacombs. But today, the 2 sects had moved. The mystic virtue realm had already sought refuge with the human race. In this land, there were only these 2 forces. Outside Mount Imperial Sea, there were many powerhouses surrounding the governor. At this moment, the governor's eyes were cold and fierce. He looked ahead and shouted in a low voice, "Wangwu and Weiyu are no longer threats. Everyone, a war is about to break out. To Xuanji, destroy Xuanda Grotto Heaven, and make the sect completely a thing of the past." "Yes, sir," a few true gods shouted. Myriad Demon Kings, Sky Demon King, and a few other venerable emperors were also eager to try. Driving the human race out of the southern region and unifying the land was the Heavenly Court's biggest goal this time. A few venerable emperors were ready to make a move. On the land of the southern region, at this time, the armies of both sides were also fighting nonstop. Blood flowed like a river. A real war was about to break out. A lot of people realized this. The moment Wangwu moved, heaven and earth trembled slightly. The passage of the human race to the southern region started to tremble. The next moment, someone entered the catacombs. To cause such a huge tremor, it must be a powerhouse. Gong Juanzi walked out of the passage and looked at the two giant islands that were gradually disappearing into the distance. His gaze was also complicated. Soon he chuckled. The land is weak. Don't sink this last continent. Qingyan, go to fifth heaven for a while. He called for the catacombs governor. In the direction of Mount Imperial Sea, the governor was walking in the air. He was dressed in armor, and his blood was boiling. Hearing this, the governor said lightly, North Sea, the power lies with the heavenly court. The emperor has returned. In the past, the land of the sect was also conferred by the heavenly court. Do you want to be a traitor? Gong Juanzi laughed. You and I have our own masters. There's no need to say more. Qingyan, do you want to go? Let's go there. The governor's tone was calm. He was a top-level saint and had proven his Tao longer than Gong Juanzi. However, Gong Juanzi was not weak. Since Gong Juanzi had chosen him as his opponent, the governor was happy to hold him back. The governor's spear cut through the sky. Layers of overlapping cosmic starry skies appeared in the sky. The governor stepped forward and disappeared into the darkness in the blink of an eye. Gong Juanzi smiled. Like a phantom, he also tore through the void in front of him and walked toward fifth heaven. Fifth heaven was a fatal threat to venerable emperors. However, for top-level saints like them, it was not much of a threat. The two of them stepped into fifth heaven one after another. At this moment, the passage trembled slightly again. The senile Tianmu walked out and said with a smile, I'm also here to join in the fun. Who wants to go to fifth heaven with me to see the universe? Another person walked out of Mount Imperial Sea. Qingyan said coldly, Tianmu, I'll go with you. Tianmu looked at Qingyan and smiled. He bent his back and easily broke through the sky with his walking stick. He stepped into the air and entered. Qingyan snorted coldly and quickly followed. In the sea, Taoist Fengyun came over on the waves with a smile on his face. He said with a smile, Haiyu, why don't we go and have a chat? Haiyu said calmly, there aren't enough human saints. It's okay, as long as there are enough heavenly kings. Fengyun laughed. Haiyu said calmly, you betrayed King Kuan. Aren't you afraid that he will kill you? Fengyun laughed and said, what betrayal? It's just cooperation, including the human clan. We can only win by cooperating. Haiyu, you're a saint. Do you want us to become someone else's slaves? Haiyu frowned and said no more. She shattered the void and entered the space crack instantly. Fengyun also followed her in. One saint after another walked into fifth heaven. Soon, another strong cultivator arrived. Kaidai Fairy and Taoist nun Wenxian, the two saints from the Spirit Emperor's bloodline, stepped into the air. They didn't talk. Two more saints from the catacombs arrived and entered fifth heaven together. Of the 11 saints from the catacombs, 5 went in. There were still 6 saints who had no opponents, including the 2 strongest kings. They restrained the strong and killed the weak. If one side couldn't restrain all the other sides strong, it would be difficult for a venerable emperor to fight the saints. Imperial Sea Mountain. Li Zhu's figure flashed and looked in the direction of the sea, at the human clan's line of defense. 5 saints. This was the full saint-level combat power of the human clan. As for Lin Hai and Cosmic Dragon, they were either independent or had submitted to King Kuan. Venerable Emperor Yulong of Yulong Heaven had saint-level combat power, but he was obviously not prepared to fight this time. The 6 saints were still there. At this moment, the world shook again. Dragon Transformation walked out of the passage and said with a smile, how many people can I take with me? No one answered. The next moment, among the 6 saints, except for the heavenly sword and the 2 kings, the other 3 saints tore the void and entered the 9th heaven. 3 saints were enough to fight Dragon Transformation. Dragon Transformation smiled and said, not bad. I thought there were only 2 people. I wanted to see if I could kill one. 2 saints could hold him back for a while, but there was a risk of dying. 3. It would be difficult for him to do that. Dragon Transformation also left. The 3 saints gathered together at this moment, their gazes solemn. There were still experts on the human clan's side. The next moment, Lin Zi walked out of the passage. Li Zhu smiled. At this moment, a huge cauldron rose from the direction of the Sea of Bitterness. The Palm Seal envoy's voice sounded. Lindsay, long time no see. Let's catch up. Lindsay said coldly, you have a big heart. You were suppressed by your disciple for thousands of years, but you are still willing to be ordered by him. Why say so much? Humph! Lindsay held the Cat Palace and was not afraid of him. Although the Palm Seal envoy was at the Breaking Seven, he had been suppressed for many years and had not fully recovered. She was at the peak of the Breaking Six and had a divine weapon in hand. The other party's Myriad World Cauldron was not bad, but it was still slightly inferior to a divine weapon. Lindsay stepped into the air and quickly headed for the Sea of Bitterness. The probability of these experts fighting was not high. At this moment, Zhang Tao walked out and said with a smile, Brother Li, let's chat? You're not enough. Li Zhu smiled and said, call the God Creation Envoy's clone together, otherwise. Brother Zhang, you shouldn't be my match, right? You old thing, you're really clear about your calculations. Zhang Tao laughed and said, how can you be so calculative? How can it be in line with your identity? Forget it, I'll chat with Senior God Creation Envoy. In the blink of an eye, a few figures appeared in the void, and soon, they merged into one. The God Creation Envoy said lazily, isn't it good for people like us to sleep at home? Why did you have to come out and lose your identity for no reason? Forget it. Since you're here, let's chat. I'm not too familiar with you, Li Zhu. It's good to get to know you. Li Zhu laughed and quickly stepped into the air. Zhang Tao and the God-forging envoy looked at each other and followed him in. At this moment, Li Zhu's voice was heard again. Heavenly King Zhen, take a rest. Brother, you will be back soon. Heavenly King Zhen doesn't want to become the Three Realms' public enemy, right? The three saints were together to guard against Fang Ping. The two kings' combat strength was powerful, and the Heavenly Sword was conferred the title of Palm Seal Envoy. With these three together, even if Fang Ping had a few venerable emperors, it would still be difficult to break through their defense. At this moment, heaven and earth shook, and the Heavenly King Zhen's laughter was heard. Didn't Hong Yu go to the earthly king's old haunt with Moon Spirit? If that's the case, I'd better come and watch the show. Li Zhu's voice came from the void, and he said with a smile, I knew it. If you didn't come out, things would have ended here. Since you've come out, I'll have to trouble you this time, Lord Weapon Master. Sigh. A sigh was heard. The next moment, the Weapon Master walked out of the void with the divine spear in his hand. The Heavenly King Zhen put his hands behind his back and looked at him from afar. He said with a smile, Old man, you want to be my enemy? The Weapon Master said in a low voice, I promised Hong Yu. If you don't do anything, I won't do anything to the human race. Li Zhen, at our realm, why do you cut the crap? The Heavenly King Zhen said coldly, back then, you and I discussed Tao for many days, and we were good friends. Now, you've recovered, and you've come to make trouble for me. Since you've made this choice, don't blame me for not considering the past. After you. The Weapon Master's spear broke the heavens and earth. At that moment, everyone felt a chill. In the void, they could vaguely see the realm barrier of the eighth heaven shattering. The Weapon Master and the Heavenly King Zhen were about to enter the eighth heaven. The Heavenly King Zhen smiled. I hope you won't regret it in the future. The Weapon Master said softly, you can't win. Moon Spirit asked Hong Yu to go to the earthly emperor retreat with her, and Hong Yu knew what you were thinking. However, the 8,000 years of hatred between him and Moon Spirit should come to an end, so Hong Yu went. That's good too. Moon Spirit didn't want to communicate with him before, but after this, I think it's time to settle things between them. When Moon Spirit suggested going out for a walk, Hong Yu already knew something. This was not in line with Moon Spirit's personality. However, he did not refuse. There were indeed things between him and Moon Spirit that should come to an end. The Weapon Master's existence was the reason why he could leave. Actually, it made no difference whether he was there or not. If he was there, the Weapon Master would not act. If he was not there, the Weapon Master would help him once to stop the Heavenly King Zhen. To Hong Yu and Li Zhu, Moon Spirit's appearance did not change anything. Everything was the same as before. The three powerful saints were still facing the same people. Nothing had changed. Be careful. At this moment, in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain, Tianming said, Sky Sword, don't be careless. Monitor the surroundings. Fong Ping hasn't appeared yet. I'm afraid his target is you. Tianji and I will pay more attention. With the three of us working together, even if Fong Ping appears, he won't be able to change anything. In the sky far away, Sky Sword did not reply. Right now, he was controlling the Heavenly King's seal and the Saint's order, expanding the area covered by the light. In the area covered by the light, the Catacombs Army's recovery ability was stronger. Fong Ping did not know how to use the Heavenly King's seal and the Saint's order, but he did. The stalemate was to strengthen the Catacombs Army so that they could wipe out the humans. On the opposite side, the three venerable emperors were using the Heaven Confining Bell to resist the light. However, they were sweating profusely. They could not take it anymore. At this moment, a sword gleam pierced through the air. In the next moment, Old Man Li came with his sword. The sky-crushing sword floated up and attacked together with the Heaven Confining Bell, forcing the Heavenly King's seal and the Saint's orders light back instantly. At this moment, the human army below erupted. The sound of killing shook the sky, and the Catacombs Army was forced to retreat. Old Man Li's face was as cold as water. He looked at Sky's sword opposite him and said coldly, If you want to take over the Southern Territory, we'll have to see what you're capable of. Three venerable emperors in him, with two divine weapons in their hands, were not afraid of Sky's sword opposite them. As for the two kings, they did not intervene. They dared not intervene either. Fong Ping had not appeared yet. Who knew where he was hiding? They had to be on guard against Fong Ping at all times. At this moment, Li Zhu's voice came from the void. Attack, kill Xianji, and take over the Southern Territory. As soon as he said that, dozens of powerhouses' auras rose from Imperial Sea Mountain. Many venerable emperors' auras erupted. In the direction of Xuanda Grotto, powerhouses below the Paragon level left one after another. In an instant, only those venerable emperors and Paragon level were left. This was their battlefield. Heavenly Demon King, Myriad Demon King, Whale Unicorn, a total of 5 Emperor-level auras rose. That was not all. In the next moment, King Feng's aura rose. He was also Emperor-level. 6 venerable emperors. On the human side, Xianji and God of War soared into the sky. They were the only 2 venerable emperors. At this moment, both Xianji and God of War frowned. In the direction of misery, another person's aura rose, blocking Earth Xing, who was about to step onto the ground in the next moment. King Hua blocked Earth Xing. There were a total of 6 venerable emperors on the other side, and they only had 2. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Xianming and Heavenly Emperor Guanming had not arrived yet. Even if they arrived, it would be 4 against 6. God of War held the giant axe in his hand, gritted his teeth, and said in a muffled voice, Don't be afraid. Our human powerhouses are all existences that can fight 1 against 3. Xianji wanted to cry. You make it sound like it's true. You're a newly advanced venerable emperor. Even King Feng has no problem beating you. The powerhouses on all sides were holding each other back so that the battle on their side could proceed smoothly. After killing a few venerable emperors and those absolute powerhouses, the humans had no choice but to retreat. Similarly, after killing the venerable emperors and true gods in the catacombs, the other side had no choice but to retreat as well. In the current situation, the kings did not meet the kings. God of War smiled and said, It's okay. There's still you two. At this moment, the other side's powerhouses were already flying over. Waves of powerful aura and pressure swept over. At this moment, the heavens and earth roared. Someone was about to open a void passage and descend. However, right at this moment, a clear shout resounded in all directions. In the air, translucent roots that resembled crystal veins densely covered the sky and sealed off the space. Not only Tianyu, More than a dozen true God realm monster plants, together with Tianyu, sealed the void in an instant, not giving the passage a chance to open. In the void, energy exploded. The projections of the two heavenly emperors, Guanming and Xianming, appeared. At this moment, they were both frowning. Something had happened. The void passage was sealed. Even if it wasn't sealed, these monster plant powerhouses that Tianyu brought were enough to hold them back. The human side were in big trouble. Xianji's expression also changed slightly. Something had happened. Tianyu had really achieved emperor rank. Moreover, King Hua and King Feng's appearance was not in the plan. This was different from what Fang Ping had said that day. 6 emperor ranks against 2 of them. Not only that, the other side had more than 50 true gods. On their side, even if all the powerhouses had gathered, there were less than 30 impasse realm powerhouses. The power balance was unbalanced. Trouble. A light laugh resounded through heaven and earth. One by one, heavenly king seals and saint tokens appeared. In the next moment, rays of brilliance erupted between heaven and earth. Fang Ping laughed heartily. Teacher Li, the few of you go and help Senior Xinji and the others kill. Just 6 emperor ranks. Just kill them all? I'd like to see which of these 3 saints dares to leave. Fang Ping's aura was not apparent. Laughing heartily, he stepped on the void. On the opposite side, the 3 saints were facing a great enemy. Old man Li saw the situation and breathed a sigh of relief. He laughed heartily. All right, then I'll leave this side to you. As soon as he finished speaking, he brought Shun Haotian, Ming Ting, and Sika Lu, the 3 emperor ranks, holding the sky-crushing sword and hurrying over. Fang Ping chuckled. 6 against 6, but I don't have as many paragons as you guys. Of course, longevity, sword isn't an ordinary venerable emperor either. Now it's even. After Fang Ping finished laughing, he sighed again. I didn't expect that old weapon master to actually come. He ruined my plan. Fang Ping was helpless. He spoke casually. Without the weapon master here, Hong Yu left. This time, I was prepared to kill you guys, but this old bastard suddenly intervened. When I break through 8, I'll let this old bastard have a taste of my power. Fang Ping looked regretful. On the opposite side, Sky's sword said coldly, Fang Ping, give up. Although you're strong, with the 3 of us here, there's nothing you can do. Fang Ping laughed. 3 people? Is it really enough? Rumble. A loud noise resounded through heaven and earth. It was not Fang Ping's side that attacked. Instead, in the Venerable Emperor area, the powerhouses were fighting each other. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.